Now you guys are fucking telling me.
Goddamn right. It's been 2 weeks. Get it down.
That's right. All right, ready?
Yep.
I don't think I'm ready yet, though.
Can you throw me that hazy 8 in the bottom of the fridge real quick?
They should make it in a 6-pack. 6 for 17 is fine.
All right. Let's go.
Whoa.
Good evening, everyone. The highlights of the news. Traffic accident.
One.
Beaver County man being held for murder.
What's going on, y'all? You're tuning
So
in
cold.
to the highest rated, most listened to podcast to ever grace the airwaves, and you're a better person for listening to us. All right, maybe not, but you're really going to enjoy it anyways. This is Made to Motivate podcast, and we'll be talking social media hot topics, pop culture news, the greatest in movies and music, and all things sports. Make sure you're following us on social media at Made to Motivate podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can watch the show on our YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, and with that being said, let's get this show started. You good?
Cut to him.
Cut to me? Oh, you wouldn't have me on?
He was doing something there.
I was mouthing I love you to the watchers.
Oh, hey. Love you. This is Made to Motivate podcast, and it is season 4, episode 24. We're back from another 2-week hiatus, or 1-week hiatus, or skip a week, do a week, whatever you want to call it.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we gotta stop that. But this is your host, Ryan Weiss, joined as always every 2 weeks by Jesse Young from Sports Illustrated.
What's going on?
How's it going, sir?
It's going fantastic.
Christopher, the film freak,
Beer chugger, Kessinger. God, that was so damn cold.
Beer time, beer pressure with Chris Kessinger.
Oh, what's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. We were off last week. I was on vacation, so we didn't do a show. We're back this week.
I got to think about what I did.
Better than ever. Anything new and exciting from you guys since we had a week off? Jesse, what did you
Yeah, man.
what have you been doing?
Been catching Pokemon like crazy the last 2 days.
Guy.
And I'm happy to say I caught every legendary ever released during Pokemon Go Fest. Don't want to brag, but
where was it going? Where did you play at? Or was it going on
it's
somewhere?
literally
Well,
worldwide.
I know you can
but,
play
like,
anywhere, but like, did you do anywhere specific?
You spent like 5. Yeah, I went down to the riverfront.
Okay.
So we mostly did, because like the one day we went down, we were walking. So Steph and I went down, and whenever she got tired of walking, we just drove real slow and just caught shit in the car.
Did you guys park?
Yeah, sometimes. But then, it was a long day. But then the next day was like what they call raids, where you can catch like really strong Pokemon, but you have to like battle them. So you don't have to move really.
Yeah.
So we parked up at the library, and we were within like 10 different spots at once where you could like catch these things. So we were just going all day.
Nice.
A couple other people met us up, and then the one day she went back home, or we went home, because it's like an 8-hour thing. It starts at 10 and ends at 6.
That's crazy.
And Steph's like, she's like, I'm kind of tired. Like, I think I'm done. I was like, that's cool. Like, we did good today. Like, whatever. And we got home, and I was like, I'm actually just gonna go walk around in the neighborhood. And I just went up and down and up and down. I walked 5 miles within my neighborhood alone for the last 2 hours, just booking it.
So who puts that stuff there? Like, who goes like, well, we're going to put a Pikachu here, and
It's just a random number generator that they have in their code that makes it pop up. You just got to get lucky. But there's all types of like shiny Pokemon and stuff, different colored ones that are rare, and all this other stuff.
You can request to be a Pokestop too. Like, you can submit.
Only if you're level 38. I'm level 37, and once I hit 38, I got a little scary face on one of my trees, and I'm just gonna see if that shit flies.
Yeah. Oh, so I didn't realize
it has
that,
to be like a monument or like a icon or something like that. It can't just be like Ryan's house. Like, it's got to be like a playground or like a statue or some shit like that.
I didn't know that, because when I used to do the fashion truck, we were going to try and submit to make it a Pokestop.
Yeah, it has to be at a secure like one specific location.
Yeah.
If it was always parked somewhere, like a storefront, you might be able to do it.
But you'd have to be level. You have to yourself play and be leveled up to be able to do it.
And it can't be it used to not be that way, but now it is.
Okay, I was gonna say, I don't remember it having to be that way previously.
Yeah. And then like, it can't be a business, so it couldn't have been like Rock Everywhere. It would have had to have been like Ryan Weiss artwork or something, like a picture from the truck or something like that. Like, it has to be like art,
interesting,
whatever, something like that.
They've definitely changed it then.
But yeah, so that was a ton of fun. I went and mini golfed with Chris, got some practice in, didn't do super hot, but good enough to get out of that round to get the fuck away from that course.
I thought
I
you
don't
played-
know. Oh, you're pretty close.
I thought you played solid until the other two showed up, and then you were kind of distracted.
Yeah, it got fucked up there. That course I didn't play well on the second time either, though.
Mm.
So that's the one I got to practice on, basically. The other one I really figured out because when I started off terrible,
Mhm.
and then we got to that second course, the one with the monkey at the beginning,
Yeah.
and I 2-hit 7 holes, I think, and 3-hit like 5 other ones. Like I only got over 3 on 3 or 4 holes.
That's the way
So
to do it.
I mean, I it's definitely doable. It's just I gotta
What do you think that
not fuck up.
cap is to get through?
132, I said was going to be 16th. Yeah.
right there.
Bro.
Yeah, you better get
I fucking
practicing,
know.
bro.
Yeah, you mark my words, and we'll see how right I am. But I think the best score is going to be a 108, and the 16th score is going to be 132, and the worst is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 160 to 170.
Yeah.
I can't imagine hitting that bad.
I mean now, like after replaying it again, like because I hadn't played it in a while. I mean, me and Chris went and played.
What'd you shoot? You did 120.
126.
Yeah.
Which is awful. I've never
We're
played
close.
that bad there. I've also done 113.
Just saying.
We got off to such a bad start.
We
too.
started real bad, and we also played in a fucking swamp.
Yeah.
Those pads were soaked. The grass was soaked. Your ball did not move. Anyways, regardless though, like I can see a 160 for sure now. Like that course, like especially if you've never gone and played there,
Yeah.
because I hit a 126, and that was probably my 4th time playing there. Some of these players do not go out and practice. If you go there your first time,
Yeah.
And what you guys aren't seeing as 6th and 11th is that, you're not seeing 31 and 32. You don't know how low this thing can go.
yeah, that's wild.
Well, that's the thing too, is like the first time I played legitimately badly when I practiced with Chris. And then the second time I went, I had the windmill one where you have to go straight up into the windmill and then it either comes out the side or the back. I could not get it in for whatever reason. I 7'd that hole. And then the one medium one where you're like driving ranging it, the one that you actually hit the concrete and bounced over.
Yeah.
I did that. I didn't bounce over from the concrete, but I hit it too hard on my second shot and it bounced up over.
Yep.
And I just tried to hop it over the wood to see if I could,
I did that too.
which I won't do in a game.
Yeah.
But I could have, boom, boom, and 3'd it, but I tried to go over. So that was 7. So really, I probably should have been in that mid-20s range.
For sure.
That was your first time too, so I don't think you shot bad against me at all.
And then
I can't speak for the Braylon game because I wasn't there, but
I mean, I torched Braylon. I thought he was going to do a lot better. But
I heard your boy Bo sucks. You
he
were all
did better than I
you were all
thought
like,
that he would.
he's pretty good. I don't know.
No, I said Braylon is good because he actually plays golf.
I said Bo was out first round, and you're like, no, he's pretty good.
I think he's decent. I think he'll be
he
okay.
ain't gonna make it.
I think that Ken's not going to make it.
Yeah.
Ken played good that day, but I don't think he can consistently
They're as
do
good
it.
at golf as they are at podcasting, and neither of them are going through the first round.
Wow.
Holy
shit.
Holy shit. Hopefully they don't listen to this episode.
Jesus.
Ryan's going to be, or fucking Bo's going to be texting me.
He's gonna be so
Put that
pissed.
fucker in my group.
It's a tough course though. And like you said, like that one where I was on the other side of the wood wall as well. And because it was practice, I tried to hop.
Yeah, you can't do it.
You won't do that in the real game.
You can't hop over that wall.
I
Though. Did you
tried.
get over it at all?
No.
It's impossible.
And what happened is when he hit it, he sandwiched himself now against the wall. So now he's like
It was a
dead
7.
on.
I even tried, like once I got to like 5 hits, I tried to just like jam it under and like boop,
Yeah.
didn't work.
Oh yeah, you ain't doing anything.
think it's
But that's
close,
things
tight.
you can practice during that. You can try during practice to see what you can do during the actual
Yeah.
game, but you ain't.
Well, and then I tried to intentionally hit off the orange wall on that one course where I went over accidentally and
Yeah.
bounced it in perfect. I tried to intentionally do it, missed twice, and then just dropped it. So that one was like 6. So that's two 7s and a 6.
yeah.
That's pretty bad for.
Yeah, I had 2 7s on that course. They were both. I think they were both the drive holes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I got 2 7s, only 2 7s on the
Yeah.
course. Everything else was like 4 or less.
Because I took
but-
3s on those.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the one I hit it over because I hit it real hard.
Yeah.
And then the other one I hit real short, and then it ended up screwing
You,
me. So
you
but-
could take our game down to just those 2 holes because I beat you by 7 strokes.
Yeah.
So you could take them down pretty much to those 2 holes and just say
Yeah.
everything else was irrelevant.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I mean we played decent the rest of the
We tied
we were
most of
tied
it.
we were tied the entire
Yeah.
first game and half of the second game until I got that 7, and I just
Hole
couldn't
8.
recover from that.
Yep. Hole 8.
Yeah. What about you, Chris, though? What did you do? Obviously, mini golf. Outside of that, anything exciting?
These guys talked about, we're doing this tournament. It's the biggest year we've ever had because we have 32 players. So obviously getting that together and getting that scheduled and seeing how everything fits with everybody's, preferences. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but finally got it done. We're 11 days away until that first group tees off. I'm excited for that next Friday.
Oh yeah.
And I'm happy that a lot of these guys are taking the time, putting the time in to practice it. And, where they need my help, that's cool. I'm always willing to help any player that wants it.
And let me just say,
he even takes on like bums like Tom. He even takes them out to practice. So, he really means it when he says, if you need the help, he'll take you out.
Here comes the rent-free text.
Yeah, he's right.
Hats off to Chris, though, because he's been putting this thing together for what? How many years now?
It's our 13th year.
13 years. And we went into practice like just on a whim. I was like, hey, like if you got time, he was meeting to help some guy that, needed some practice. And I said,
John,
let me go and help out beforehand. Give me some help. And we saw like 4 people show up that day. And then I met up with somebody else and practiced another day. So like people are invested in this. That's pretty impressive to put something together like that and have people actually give a shit.
That's what's always the easiest to keep it going on my end. It's that, if we were still stuck at 12 players or whatever at this point, I don't know if we'd still be alive. It's the fact that people look forward to it every year. And it's the fact that more and more people look forward to it.
If there was more time, you could easily do 2 tournaments a year.
Yeah.
You have a waiting list of people that want to get in that there's just not the time to cover it. So, that's a testament to like what Jesse said. Like people want to participate.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get some training going. We need to train some. We need to train some refs.
Well, can we buy?
And Winter Warfare is going to be bigger this year too. We're going to have more Nate players for Winter Warfare.
I'm going to play that this year for sure.
Yep.
Can we buy a plot of land and make our own mini golf course?
Always been the dream.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hell, Birdie Shack wanted me to buy theirs last year.
How much were they selling for?
So I'll say this, but yeah, it's not something I feel comfortable saying. She was going to sell to me for $20,000 last year.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Why didn't we buy it?
Yeah. It was dirt low, and a course like that is usually worth in the neighborhood of 40.
Which course was that?
Birdie Shack.
Bro, I would have went in with you on that, like legit, and bought that.
She wanted, so it was an older lady who owned it, and she was dying to get out of the business. Well, she brought it to my attention when we were there for one of our games, and she goes, I know how much you're into mini golf and all that. Would you be interested in buying a business? I wasn't in my head, but I said, sure, shoot me a number. What do you think? And she told me, and I was like,
bro, there's no way they're not making $20,000 a year.
Yeah.
I would have bought. Who bought it?
I don't know. Whoever did, they're doing a superb job, though.
I'm so salty.
The problem with that one, though,
I wish you would have said something.
So here's my problem.
I legit would have went 50-50 with you.
Okay, and that's fine. Here's my problem.
I'd have got a third.
Okay, so then I'll remember that. So here's the problem, though. If it's any other course, I would probably look into it more. The reason why I wouldn't look into it for Birdie Shack is because everything is downhill. So every time we have a flood in the summertime, that's more erosion, more damage to our course. We have to think about stuff like that when you're buying land.
Here's my thing, though. If they got to own that building and property.
Yeah.
So if I'm buying that for $10,000, half, you're not making $10,000 in a year.
Well, even if it does go under and it doesn't do well, you're going to sell the land alone for more than that.
That's the thing. Yeah. So you own all that land. So like the cages that are there with the what they call it, driving range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You've got basketball courts that were there until they tore them down this year.
Bro.
You've got so much, and there's so much untapped land. You could build another course in the back if you wanted.
We would have killed it with my carpentry skills. We could have made that place so dope. You should have said something.
Well, now we just got to buy some land for like $3,000.
My brother's got 8 acres, but it's not really in like a prime area. So we could build one there, but you can't even build one for that amount of money. That's the thing. We could have bought that for
not with the lumber costs like that are now.
Bought that for $20,000.
What do they even what goes under? I know it's like you've got your green or your felt or whatever the fuck that material is. That turf.
It's turf.
Is it just wood underneath that?
No, it's
concrete usually.
Concrete
they're typically wood or concrete structures. They just build and then felt them or whatever.
Wood walls.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
We could do that shit.
I mean, they've done some good upgrades to it since then, but that course, I would say it was probably about 70% positive last year. Like it was still in good shape.
Yeah.
Like it's not as good as it is now.
It was minimal upkeep, some landscaping needs, like just cleaning up stuff,
Yeah.
fixing some of those like railroad tie walls.
Real janky stuff. Yeah.
Damn, man. That would have been so dope.
Yeah. That'd have been what, 6.5 each, something like that. 6,500.
Dude, I would have won 50-50 easy. Easy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's all right.
That's all right.
Water under the bridge.
That's it for me. I don't have shit going on. I'm getting
That's it?
vacation's a month away. And I'm looking forward to that. I know yours just ended, right?
Yeah, sadly, my vacation ended. Man, vacation coming to an end is the absolute worst. And then going back to work makes it even worse because it's just my day-to-day was just chaos, just nonstop chaos. I probably got 20% done of what I needed or wanted to get done just because it was so freaking busy.
Doesn't that suck?
Dude, it's awful.
Like, wouldn't it be nice to just go back to work and be like the way it was when you left?
Yeah, nothing got done while I was gone. It just sucked. But otherwise, it was a good week off. We were gone 2 weeks. I don't know. I was on vacation, so we skipped. We did mini golf. I did some mini golf with Chris. Went to Toledo. Got my garage clean. It was good. Some good time off. I got more time off coming up in September.
Productivity.
But really just looking forward to the tournament getting started and going from there. So
less than 2 weeks now.
11 days, man. These guys are going to do their things. I predict they both get into the second round.
We got to go out and practice one more day before we go.
Always there.
Call off work, man. Let's do it early.
I like going after work when it starts to cool down.
Yeah.
I mean, since we're speaking of the best sport ever, you want to do Let's Get Social? I mean, locker room talk.
What?
You're the only one not drinking.
Swung on, line to deep left field. It is! 45-40. Run, William, run! 20-50.
There's a steal. They throw the pass up to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Doug does get the game.
This is locker room talk.
That one was a low blow. That was a low blow.
Wow. All right. So I'm not going to turn the.
We're going to start it with the basketball. Chris, let's talk about these Suns. You've given up hope. I have not.
Okay.
Let's talk about the game.
Okay.
Why do you think it's over? You said tomorrow it's over earlier.
So first of all, I'm going to examine games 4 and 5 here. I'm going to throw the other 3 games out. They're irrelevant because the Bucks dominated in game 3. There's no way the Suns were going to win that one. The Suns dominated in games 1 and 2. There was no way the Bucks were going to win that one.
Sure.
Throw those out. Games 4 and 5, the Suns have dominated in every single avenue of the ball except for rebounding. They have gotten out rebounded 3-1. Miserable rebounding.
Yeah.
But yet somehow the Bucks managed to win these games. Like game 4, the Suns shot 51% compared to 40% to the Bucks, and they still lost. Game 5, the Suns have a 16-point lead heading into the second quarter, and they still lost. They blew it in that quarter, not the whole game.
That game 4 stat, that's like an all-time final stat for me. Like that is insane.
Yeah.
When I saw that blew my mind.
Yeah.
What do you attest it to though? Like what are they doing that they're
Are they just mentally weak or like what is it?
What do you think?
What I've seen, I mean the Bucks have more heart. They play with more urgency than the Suns do. It's just what it is. I'm not trying to be a pessimist. I'm looking at it and going like, look, the Bucks play like their lives are on the line. The Suns are playing like, hey man, we're up 16. Hey, then forget about it, man. No big problem. Just throw the ball around the court. You know,
the Brooklyn Suns.
No big deal. These clowns ain't gonna catch us. And then 5 minutes later, they caught them. Oh my God, it's a tie game.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine watching that as a fan. Imagine like wearing your t-shirt to work and all that shit. And then the next day you have to pay for that kind of shit. Yeah.
Oh, I know what it feels like.
It's fucking great.
Jesse's done it for the last
I've done that for the
23
last
years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just think the Bucks right now, like, I don't think they're a better team. I think the Suns are a better team. Still.
I do.
There's no way, even with the Bucks winning tomorrow night, I think that I would not trade that team for ours in a second.
Yeah.
A lot of it, if you look in the first 3 games, it was all Antetokounmpo who did it. Giannis, you know, he's
been insane. Coming back from that injury too.
Absolutely. Well, that's why I said Atlanta needs to do the job right now. If they don't beat them in 2 games and get Giannis out of here, we're going to be forced with that nightmare. Yeah. And I don't want that at all. And that's what happened. So we have to pay for their fucking mistakes. Atlanta can't win 1 game, even with their star in. They can't win 1 game. Yeah. That's what we got the payback for it.
So Bucks are out. I mean, Bucks are winning tomorrow and it's over.
Yeah.
No doubts. 100%.
Not going to be close.
If the Suns somehow come out and win this next game, do you think they win it all? Do you think that if they make the adjustments to win in Milwaukee, that they can win it at home in game 7?
No. Close game. No.
Wow.
Nope. No. That's so like the thing is when you give up 3 games in a row, you have lost a lot of momentum along the way.
I agree.
It's one thing to lose 2 games in Milwaukee because you can sit there and go, yeah, but we still have the home court. That's why even after game 4, I was like, look, I'm a little worried, but we've got the home court 5 and 7. If we win at home, we protect our home floor, we're going to be okay. When we lost game 5, that's when my shit turned around and I go, no, now it's a problem.
3 in a row is tough. I mean, they just feel great right now and playing. I mean,
they're in their heads, and Chris Paul looks terrible. He looks like he's aged 20 years in this series alone.
He knows it's another loss, and he's never going to get a chance again.
Nope.
This is it, man.
Nope.
I'm a man of faith, and I'm a Cavs fan, so I know that miracles can happen.
You had LeBron
basketball.
James. You had the greatest player in basketball
of all time.
Be that as it may, you only add to my argument.
That's
you had
true.
the greatest player of all time,
but like you said,
we don't.
You have the better team.
Yeah.
You've got the better team.
Yeah.
I think you have the better coach. I think you have the better team.
We
I think you have
the better coach by far.
Rising stars.
Yeah.
You have the better Hall of Fame point guard. I think that they will get out this game. I think that they can still win it. I don't feel as confident as I did when I said Suns in 5.
Well, you guys, I mean, we're all wrong technically.
But,
well, no, I could be right still. Suns in 7 was my original prediction, but that's not happening.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm pulling for you. I'm rooting for you. I mean, I don't know. Cleveland fans, we don't let anything die until it's over.
Over under on the point spread
For just this game
tomorrow. Yeah. You think it's going to be close, or you think they're just going to get dominated?
I think they're going to get.
20 points.
I think it'll be close in the first half, and then that third quarter, the Bucks are going to come out, and you're going to see how bad they want it. I'm going to say Bucks by 12.
I thought 13. If the Bucks win, I say 13.
Really?
I think if the Suns win, they'll win close, and then you're going back
1.
home, and they'll go. I think I'm going to say Suns by 3 will be my official. I think they win this game.
Suns by 3.
I just don't think they're going to roll over and die. After the 2 games that they dominated at the beginning, I don't think that you roll over and let it happen.
Do us all a favor and just die already.
They already laid down for 3 games.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
going to say Suns by 1.
Yeah,
Suns
we'll
by
see.
1. It's going to be close.
If it's over tomorrow, who's your MVP?
If it's over tomorrow, I mean, it's going to be Giannis regardless.
I think they'll give it to Giannis, but
Here's-
I really think that Chris Middleton deserves that MVP award.
I've said this whole series, I said, honestly, I look at Giannis, he's a one-dimensional player. I look at Chris Middleton, I go, that boy can shoot anywhere on the floor, and he can make his free throws.
And he's won a couple of those games himself.
Oh, God, yeah.
Daggers.
The last game was his. The last game was all his. Yeah. Yeah, I love Chris. I'm all for that. I'm right on board with Jesse. But Giannis is going to get it. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Giannis will get it for sure, but Chris deserves it.
Mhm.
But you never know.
Bunch
I
of
mean,
problems.
Andre Iguodala won it that one year whenever Curry should have got it. So
I didn't feel like he had a great. I felt like he had a good couple games.
all he did was slowed down LeBron, and LeBron averaged like 23, 9, and 10 or some shit.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever.
Steph should have been the MVP.
Oh, fuck Steph Curry.
Oh, so it's real.
Well, since basketball's depressing.
Hold on, let me give my pessimistic outlook for next year too.
let's
We're going to
go.
be the 8th seed next year.
Oh.
So go ahead. I'm throwing it out there because the Warriors are going to be better. The Lakers are going to be better. The Clippers are going to be better.
You think the Lakers get better?
Yes, because they're going to get what's his name from Dallas. They're going to get
Kristaps
Luka
Porzingis?
Doncic. Luka Doncic.
No.
Yeah, I
Luka's
really-
going to LA?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Book LeBron for fucking 3 more rings.
I think that this was their chance.
Yep.
That this was it. If
Everybody-
they don't do it, this was a kind of I don't want to say a fluke.
No,
This was their season.
everything fell into place. Everybody was getting hurt, and we were the one team that was unblemished. I mean, we had Chris Paul's injury, but still, like everything was happening. What?
Why do you think Luka's going to LA?
Oh, it's already been discussed.
I
dude.
love it.
Dame Lillard is
I'm not-
going to the Golden State.
See, okay, so I thought that if anything happened, Dame would be the one that would go to LA.
No, Dame's going to Golden State.
Dame would
and
be great in LA.
Kawhi is going to stay with LA, the Clippers. So all those teams are going to be better next year because they're going to be healthy. They're going to get a full training camp.
Yeah.
So the Suns are going to be an aging with Chris Paul 1 year older. He's probably going to get injured next year. They're going to be on the other end of that. You're never going to get the luck you had this year. They're the 8th seed next year. Mark my words.
You heard it here
Yes.
first, folks.
Yes.
I'm 2.5 beers in already.
What else is going on in sports?
So yeah, you chose a topic. Let's talk about your shitty Steelers here for a second.
Oh,
I've not heard about this thing. What is this
Okay,
expansion
so-
team you talk about?
So there's no real expansion team. The article is kind of like super random, but in the talk of expansion team in the NHL,
Seattle Kraken.
Yeah, the Seattle team. They basically just had a random article that said, in the talk of expansion teams, if there became an expansion team in the NFL,
Who would be the 11
who would
players?
be the 11 players that the Steelers would save? So I want to see if I know you hate them, but I kind of want to see if you agree that these players are worth keeping, or if you would not add them onto your.
Can I try to guess them?
Yeah.
Side question too. After we're done with this, I want to hear his 11 for the Browns that he would keep too.
Hell yeah. All right,
Okay.
let's do it. So let me guess them. I'm assuming they'd have to be young corner pieces. So Chase Claypool would be one.
He's on there.
Mine list too.
Did they put Juju on there? I don't think they would. Deontay Johnson then?
Deontay Johnson.
Okay, so that's two.
Mm.
Definitely your safety. I'm blanking because I'm drunk.
Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Minkah Fitzpatrick, he's on there.
He'd be on mine.
TJ Watt's on there.
Yeah.
Your offensive line is in shambles, so that wouldn't be on there. Najee Harris would be on there.
Yep.
So that's
Who
5.
hasn't played it down yet?
Is Joe Hayden on there?
No.
He's a little older, but no.
Yeah,
Wow,
I wouldn't think. Yeah,
I'm so good.
he's older though now.
So
You
good.
got 5 so far. 5 for 10.
I don't know their roster inside and out like I know the Browns. Ben's not on there.
No.
Defensive lineman.
It's not Cam Hayward.
Mhm.
Cam Hayward is on there. Cam Hayward's fucking old.
So
Get the
that's
fuck out of
that's
here.
6.
There's no way.
Another defensive lineman.
I don't know if I know another one.
Jesse wouldn't keep 11 players basically.
Last name starts with a T.
Last name starts with a T.
It rhymes with do it.
Oh, Stephon Tuitt. That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, Stephon Tuitt. He would be on there. I forgot that he didn't leave this year. He was supposed to. Fucker.
Offensive guard.
DeCastro. He's gone.
No. Rhymes with Watson.
Twatson.
Kevin Dotson.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know him.
Kevin Dotson.
Okay, give me the other ones. I don't know.
So
anymore.
you got most of them. So if in the idea that if this ever happened, they would do the rule is 5 guys offense, 5 guys defense, 1 specialist.
Yeah.
So you got TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, Devin Bush.
Who's the specialist? Because it's not going to be your fucking kicker.
Minkah Fitzpatrick, Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Kevin Dotson, Kendrick Green.
That Najee, that impresses me because he hasn't played one down for the Steelers.
He's
yet.
a young rookie running back. Those guys, though,
Yeah.
you're not going to let go. Especially when they took him so high. You let him go, and it's just lost potential.
Yeah.
They'll just run him into the ground, and then whenever he's done, on to the next one.
And with running backs, you get like 4 years in this league. You know, it's pretty much the way
3
it looks.
on average.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even finish out their contracts.
What do you think for the Browns?
If we had to choose, so
Baker,
it's 5 offense,
Landry.
5 defense, and then a specialist?
Yeah. Yeah. Keep it to those rules.
Okay, so my specialist is Jamie Gillum. He's our punter. My offense would be Baker, Chubb, Odell, Wyatt Teller.
They're gonna go. Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
And Jedrick Wills.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Well, who do you think I should have kept?
Landry.
Austin Hooper.
Landry's
or
gone.
Hooper.
Sorry, dude.
Austin Hooper.
I don't
Odell
like.
should
I am
be
not a fan of the
gone.
Austin
Really?
Hooper.
Odell's a
No.
bum.
Austin Hooper is overpaid. We spread the ball too much. The guy
Wow.
doesn't do enough for me. He's okay. He had super solid third.
What does
round
Odell do
picks.
that he's worth keeping? He's a bum.
Odell blows the top off
Odell's
of an
a
offense.
phony.
No, look. So even if Odell doesn't have a great game like he did against the Cowboys last year, Chris knows. So I don't know why you're over there disrespecting him with your face.
You hear me out. Austin Hooper is going to win 2 or 3 games by himself for the Browns this year. Because Baker's
No, he
going to look
won't.
for that short option,
No,
the
he
dink and
won't.
dak, and it's going to be right to that guy.
No, he won't.
Guarantee it.
I guarantee he will not do that.
Okay.
People listening, he will not do that. The thing about Odell is even if he doesn't blow the top off of the game himself, he's always going to draw an extra defender. He's always going to draw that safety. He's going to allow guys like Rashard Higgins to get those plays, Jarvis Landry.
He's got to play to do any of that.
But you're never going to be able to load the box against Chubb or Hunt. You're never going to be able to do any of that stuff because of him. And I love Joel Bitonio. He was the one that I was considering between him and Wyatt Teller, but left tackle is more important than guard, and I already chose one guard,
and
I let him go.
And I understand why you didn't pick Hunt, because he picked Chubb. You're not going to pick both of those guys. You're going to waste 2 spots out of 5.
Yeah,
I understand that. You have to let one of them go.
And the thing is Wyatt Teller is the best guard in football, and Jedrick Wills is a young star at left tackle, and that's the second most important position in football, so you got to keep him there. I can replace Joel Bitonio at age 30 eventually. Like, he's a star. He's great, but I can't keep 2 guards.
I liked your punter pick too.
On defense, I'm keeping, obviously, Miles. I'm keeping, we just signed so many people, so it's hard to tell because, like, a vast majority of our defense has been completely overhauled. So I'm going to keep Miles. I'm going to keep John Johnson III. I'm going to keep Denzel Ward.
There he is. I was waiting for it.
I'm going to keep Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And I'm going to keep Clowney. I think that Clowney's an elite run stopper, even though he doesn't get the sack numbers people think he should, but
we'll see what happens.
I like the guy.
I like it. I'm curious to see what actually happens this season. Football's not far away.
No.
Yeah. When it comes to expansion
60
teams,
days or so.
Remember, people, the Browns got fucked when they were an expansion team, and if you don't know about it, you can find an article by me about the history of the Browns, and it explains exactly how we got fucked terribly, and that's why we were so terrible when we came back in 1999. So
very rich article full of history. Yeah.
All the links are in every episode of the show.
That's right.
Make sure you go check them out. Even thefilmfreak.com. What else?
Staying on topic of the Steelers, since you guys are some fucks, there was some free agency news. You guys got Melvin Ingram, which is actually a very solid signing.
Yeah.
I think that's a very Steeler signing.
Wow.
Just in, like, you guys get a guy who dominated for years, had a bad year. Everybody's counted him out because he's 30, 31. Yeah, and he's probably going to dominate for another 2 or 3 years for you guys.
Him up and turn him into something good.
Joe Hayden.
You're not going to turn. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Let's pump the brakes on Joe Hayden. All right.
But
Joe Hayden was fantastic.
The same thing.
Joe Hayden was a casualty of cutting every ounce of cap room that we had from our roster.
He had a bad year, the year that they let him go. And then the Steelers picked him up and
they cut every bit of talent from our team so that we could get 2 first-round picks in a row. It worked out for us, but that is one that I will never forgive. Joe Hayden is still Mr. Cleveland. I love him.
Nope. He's Mr. Pittsburgh.
It hurt me so bad when he went there.
Now.
I'm not doing those car commercials anymore.
But yeah, no, I think he's going to be solid. I do. I think that him and TJ Watt are going to be insane this year. I picked up Ingram for my Dynasty IDP league in fantasy football. I think it's a great signing. I still don't think you guys are going to be that great because of your offense. I think the line is bad. I think Ben's going to be bad, and I don't trust your receivers that are all. People talk about diva receivers. God damn, you guys have all of them. Juju and Claypool together are just like the most,
because they like social media. They're divas.
No, dude. Like, no. All right. So hold on. So Juju is bad in and of itself. He cares more about being a social media star than he does about football.
He's
and that's
dude.
That's just a fact. He's had that one good year and he hasn't done anything since. Chase, I actually respected and liked Chase until after we beat them in the playoffs. And that dude got on Twitch or some random ass shit and was like, I mean, the Browns still suck. I don't. He made up all these excuses, just live to all these people. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up, accept your loss,
Can we just
and
pause
move
for
on.
1 second?
How are you that fucking big and that fucking sauce?
It's starting, folks.
Can we pause
I
for
hope
1 second?
somebody tag him in this. I hope Chase hears this.
Juju has one good year, and that's all he's worth. The Browns have one good season ever, and now they're going to win the Super Bowl. How is there a difference here?
We were literally a game away from the Super. If we beat the Chiefs last year, we win the fucking Super Bowl.
Remember the conversation we had a couple weeks ago when Jesse hates something, he really hates it.
Oh, yeah.
And when he loves something, there's no change in his mind.
Usually when it's our stuff, he really hates
Oh,
it.
yeah. Good God.
6 wins for the Steelers, 10 wins for the Cowboys, 12 wins for the Browns.
6 for the Steelers.
6.
I had
9
11,
and 8.
I had 11 for Dallas.
9 and 8.
9 and 8.
I'll bet you $100 right now.
9 and 8.
I'll bet you $100 right now.
9 and 8. What did you say the Browns were going to have?
12.
I had 11 for the Browns.
11 for the Browns, and how much for the Cowboys?
11 for the Cowboys.
11. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I got 10.
You
I
hear
got 10
that?
for the Cowboys. I got no problem with that.
Wow.
Dak's coming back. They're going to be great.
We have one of the easiest schedules this year, and we have a division that is completely wide open. We are going to win the division this year if we all stay healthy.
And Ezekiel Elliott is going to come back roaring this year. I've been doing everything I can to get my hands on him in fantasy.
So here's the bet. Whoever has the closer over under on their team's schedule. So I'm saying 9 and 8 for the Steelers. And
Okay.
you're saying
We did that.
how much for the Browns?
12,
Okay. So whoever's closest to that wins.
give or take, just whatever it is.
So like if the
So if the Browns win 11 games and I'm off by 1, but
And,
they win
and the
6
Steelers-
games, you're off by 3.
then you would win. Whoever has the closest.
What happens if we tie?
No one wins anything, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Deal.
So what is
I don't want to do
$100
$100 though, because that's too easy. Let's
Oh, is
do
that-
something fun.
Okay.
Let's do something fucking interesting.
We'll report back.
We'll report
But
back.
we'll have a bet. And whoever has the
But
closer,
that's the
and you
bet.
can join if you'd like, Chris. The bet is whoever has the closest to their team's winning prediction wins.
Okay.
I'm down.
Cool. The other thing I had was an update on Naomi Osaka.
Yeah, what's going on?
Last time we talked about her was when we discussed her mental health issues and her.
Yeah, we got in a big fight about that.
Yeah, we had a disagreement. It was good. I like that. But we haven't talked about her since, and there wasn't really too many updates on that. But she's going to be the first African American on a Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover. Thought that was pretty cool. So obviously that didn't. I don't know how much it was really going to affect her. The whole like sitting out on the.
She's got a
tournament and everything
show
like that, but
on Netflix now. Have you
Chris
seen
said
that?
I haven't heard of that.
So the trailer makes it seem like it's all about like her mental health, basically. Like it's about her.
Sorry.
I only saw the trailer.
First black athlete. I might have misspoken. She's not the first black female because I'm sure there's been black female models.
Yeah, I might be
But
interested.
first
in that.
black female athlete to be on
Okay.
the cover. of
I'd be
Sports
interested in
Illustrated,
that.
So
but yeah, her show on Netflix was. I watched the little trailer today, and it was like basically her talking about like you don't expect for all these people to be watching you all the time and blah blah blah. And as soon as I watched it, I went right back to our last
Oh
conversation.
my
I was like, this chick
God,
is
this
soft as
guy.
baby shit, but.
she's a kid, bro.
I don't give a fuck. You're on the biggest fucking stage in the world. You're gonna represent America in the fucking Olympics. Like,
I don't know. Here's my
toughen
thing.
up.
And
Same conversation we had last time. My thing is it sucks. And I granted you sign up for her. I know that's the case, but it sucks to not be able to pursue something you're so phenomenally talented at because you have to be willing to fucking just be shat all over by everyone. You know, like she
So
wants
don't
to
look at it.
she wants to be great at tennis and she's extremely talented and she wants to go out and pursue that, but it's at the
Nobody is
trade-off
shitting
of-
on her to her face.
And hold on a
That
second.
shit's all on social media.
And I didn't want to say something when we were talking about that track star. I think it was 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, whenever. But like,
Oh, the pothead?
you kind of double played it with the Naomi
The
Osaka
pothead.
argument. So like with the pothead, we'll say, you said, you know, the Olympics are a business and you know what you're doing and so forth. Well, with Osaka, I would say, Jesus Christ.
Just keep going.
With Osaka, I would say, well, press conferences are a business too. You're told by your business to be there too. Isn't that the same thing?
The same as what? Not
It's
smoking
the
pot?
same as, well, smoking pot, because you know it's a business. The Olympics
Yeah.
are a business. You know the rules
Smoking
before.
pot is
Yeah, she should have
illegal.
known
Press
better.
Conferences
Not
are a
the
thing.
same.
You know the thing before, and you double dipped in the same waters.
It's
dude.
apples and oranges.
You double dip the chip.
Yeah.
This fucking guy. He's trying to compare smoking pot to doing a press
Look,
conference.
they're both
Hey.
rules
Get the
established
fuck outta
within the system.
Take some fucking Lexapro and
Yeah.
toughen up.
Drink your Smirnoff.
We are so
You
off
double
the
chip dipping
rails.
bitch. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
I do not want that to be the face of the Olympic
The
team.
thoughts and comments of Jesse Young do not reflect
Yeah.
the Made to Motivate
Your
podcast in
comments.
any way.
Yeah.
Guy.
I don't want that to be the face of the Olympic fucking team
What,
going in.
A pot smoking-
Ahsoka, her soft ass trying. No, I would rather have that chick who was smoking weed, who's a badass, who's fast as fuck going out there
Fast as fuck, boy.
dominating. You don't see any of that shit with Simone Biles. She's badass. Make her the face of the team.
Anything's better.
She is a badass, honestly. I mean,
Anything's better than the American Olympic basketball team.
That's what sucks, though.
Oh my God. Can we talk about that for a second?
Oh,
Jesus
a fucking
Christ.
joke, bro. And what
These
the fuck
fucking
about Kevin
dudes.
Love? What a fucking bum.
Kevin
I
Durant
love
is
Kevin
getting
Love.
fucking
soft.
blocked by an Argentinian. This dude is a nobody. Nobody even fucking knows that country. And he's going out sending him back to 1987.
Kevin Durant's a bum.
Dude,
Kevin Durant's a bum.
Kevin Durant
is
first
overrated.
off.
He's washed up.
Whoa.
He's washed up.
Stop.
He's a bum.
Stop.
I hate that guy.
Stop.
He sucks.
Stop.
You said it yourself.
No.
He's getting smacked around
Oh my
silly
God.
by some no-name fucking whatever South American dude.
It's Argentina.
I don't-
Argentina. Isn't it? Was it Argentina? I don't even
It was
fucking know.
Argentina.
It was
Come on.
Argentina.
Kevin Durant's a bum.
They got
Dude.
dominated by Nigeria before that.
I think it got blocked by the Nigerian.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the Argentinian. It was the Nigerian.
I'll block Kevin Durant in the Olympics.
Oh, you know.
He's a bum.
Oh, you know. That dude's 7 feet. Look, I hate Kevin Durant more than
with 80-year-old knees, and he sucks.
Ryan's 5'9" strong.
That's
Look,
right.
I hate Kevin
5'10".
Durant. I hate his chicken legs. I hate everything
Sucks.
about him. He ruined basketball for 4 fucking years, and none of his rings
Because
count.
he's a bum.
But he's not a bum.
He's a bum.
He's arguably the greatest scorer in
Oh my
NFL or
God.
NBA history, probably NFL history too, if he played it.
He
I
sucks.
can't say he's a bum. I can say he sucks. I can say I hate him. I can't say he's a bum. The dude's a beast. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he better win the fucking gold. Otherwise, like I know it's exhibition and it doesn't fucking
we
matter.
all see him cry on
goddamn.
national television when it's just in the U.S. I can't wait to watch him cry on world television when he loses in the Olympics.
That's our team,
Fucking
dipshit.
I don't
They'll
care.
be-
He's a bum.
They'll be lucky if they take bronze the way they're playing, man.
We ain't
They're
gonna
playing
win.
awful. They're playing fucking terrible.
I don't want us to lose.
Put
but we're
LeBron
not
on the
gonna
team and go get gold again.
Nobody wanted to play. Was it because of COVID?
Well, it's the commitment. The thing is, you have a short
It's the
summer.
Olympics, though. Like
Nobody
when you're a
cares.
star, you play.
The thi-
LeBron's always played though.
Well, and a lot of the problem is
He's old.
Colangelo got rid. Colangelo got rid of that commitment,
Kevin
though.
Durant's bum ass is playing.
Colangelo got rid of the 4-year commitment, though. Like in the USA Olympics, you used to have to commit for 4 years, and he got rid of that. That was a problem that we had in 2004. Now we're facing that again. Now it's these one athletes who can't donate any amount of chemistry to each other. That's why you're not developing anything like the Nigerians, like the Argentinians.
The thing is, though, is like we have the most dominant players in the world. You shouldn't even need fucking chemistry. Like since the 90s, when they first put together the Dream Team, or was it the 80s? I don't remember what year that was.
92.
92. Before that, they didn't let professionals play. So we had these little college guys going out. We were getting, it's back and forth, not really doing that good. It's up and down. As soon as they put them in the night,
greatest of all time.
then fucking Jordan, Bird, Magic, and all the other
Barkley,
greats came together.
yeah.
I don't want to hear that
Robinson,
Jordan shit.
Ewing, Isaiah. Or no, Isaiah wasn't in there.
Yeah,
Space Jam.
Isaiah wasn't allowed to go. Don't ever disrespect
Carl.
that team. The Dream Team was not because of Michael fucking Jordan.
I'm just saying.
That
The
was
Dream Team was held back because Michael Jordan wouldn't have let Isaiah Thomas on the team. That's what the difference is.
This
But ever since then, we have dominated. We've got gold every single year except for, is it 04 or 08? I thought it was 04.
04, they did. Yeah,
04 we got
was a
bronze.
big disappointment.
And that shit was embarrassing.
Mhm. That big Stephon Marbury year.
But other than that, everything has been solid. So they better pull it out. Better go out there and represent fucking America, because we're not going to lose to some goddamn Nigerians in our sport.
I agree with Chris. We'll be lucky to get bronze.
They got France as their first game, I think, next Friday night.
Yeah, we're not going to do anything successful.
France and Spain are always solid.
Mhm.
Australia has a decent team too.
Yeah.
We're not going to lose to Nigerians in fucking Olympics when it actually counts and matters. We're not going to lose that fucking game. I still think they take gold. They better not fuck up. If you don't take gold, you're fucking up.
Yeah,
They should be
you
able to
lose.
win on skill alone. You don't need chemistry. You don't need coaching. Put them out there on the fucking floor and hit your goddamn shots and win the fucking Olympics.
If they
You
lose,
truly believe they're going to win gold. You're not just bullshitting because you want them to win
They
gold.
fucking should. You have the greatest basketball players in the world.
if they lose, will you admit that chemistry is important?
No,
See,
because
that's-
it's fucking not.
And that just proves your point. That is he wants to, them to
08,
win. not that
012,
he thinks.
08, 12, and 16 gold doesn't fucking matter. Goddamn.
You need
They
even the
ain't got
best
nobody.
players.
They got Kevin Durant. That's the problem. He's a bum.
I don't know who else is even on the fucking
Scotty
roster.
and Jordan had great chemistry.
Kevin
LeBron-
Durant should be able to win it on his own. They're goddamn Nigerians.
That's not true because they lost to Milwaukee.
Right. Thank you.
Nigeria has like 4,000 people in the whole fucking country. You're telling me Kevin Durant's not better than all of them?
There's nothing to do, so they play basketball.
No, they don't. They don't play basketball. That's the thing. They shouldn't lose to them because Nigerians don't have any fucking basketball courts. They live in the goddamn bush.
They've got commitments that the USA don't. They grow together. They play together.
You're telling me you're telling me that the goddamn world has been on fire for 2 years with COVID, Nigeria included, and these fucking dudes just came out of the fucking brushwork and decided that they were going to be better than the greatest basketball players in the fucking world, and that they're not going to they're going to beat them in the Olympics?
Somebody had to shut us up.
No.
Somebody had to shut us up. It's going to be
no.
Yep.
Patty Mills gave us a little bit of a scare a few years ago, and that's it. That's it.
Bro.
Canada can't fucking fuck with us. Fucking Spain can't fuck with us. The Gasol brothers, they're old now. It's done. In France, there ain't no Tony Parker playing anymore. They're done.
Just basketball?
Just basketball.
Okay, I was going to say.
I can't wait to reevaluate this.
We're going maybe bronze if we're lucky.
I'll call bronze.
If they win bronze, whoever is on that team should leave the NBA.
I agree.
I'll call
they should
bronze.
retire that day.
Kevin Durant should retire right now.
I'll call bronze.
Sit his old man ass on the bench.
Where the fuck is Nigeria even at?
In Africa.
Yeah.
There you go.
They like basketball.
Do they?
I mean, apparently.
Haven't you seen the air up there?
Right. Exactly.
Kevin
Shit.
Bacon.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Olympics is a sham. We're blowing it. We're blowing it all across the board.
That pisses me off.
You know, our runners can't fucking pass drug tests. We got bums playing on basketball. What are we going to win at? Anything?
You guys ever interested in the Olympics? Like, do you ever watch
I used
it?
to all the time,
Yeah.
dude. I used to watch the winter ones because I loved Oksana Bayul.
I like the winter ones more.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm a Summer Olympics guy.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Winter Olympics are more extreme. Like they seem more exciting.
The
Man.
2000
all that
elite-
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
2008 Olympics were the greatest Olympics I've ever seen in my life.
Was that Tokyo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. It was
It's Tokyo now, isn't it?
it's not Tokyo because it wasn't Japan. It was China. It was Beijing.
Beijing. That's what okay.
Yeah. One of the greatest openings of all time when they ran that perfect circle with like fucking 365 people and they all had the light up boards. I was mind blown. But you had Usain Bolt, insane that year. Michael Phelps got his 8 medals that year. Fucking gymnastics, America dominated. I mean, the 08 Olympics are untouched for me.
You know what Michael Phelps was?
Pothead.
That's right.
That fucking pothead.
Hey, Daniel Tosh said it best. And Michael Phelps just shows you that you smoke a little weed, you can still be the fastest swimmer in the world.
Yeah, baby.
It's not a performance enhancing drug.
Yeah.
It's just illegal.
Yeah.
He just didn't get busted until after the fact.
That's right.
I'll watch some of it though. I'll check. I'll tune in from here and there.
I'll check out the gymnastics.
Yeah, you will.
I always do.
Who's that girl on the commercials? The one that gets the frisbee down from the tree. I've seen it a million times during the NBA playoffs. Oh my
It's a
God,
weird
what's her
kink.
name?
Yeah,
What's her
me
name?
too. I was like, wait.
She gets the frisbee down from the garage or whatever.
Oh, God, get that frisbee.
I remember it was like, it's got to have been, I don't know, 8 or 12 years ago when we
She's
had
a
like
gymnast?
the women's like
Michaela-
dream.
Oh, it's the one who does like the little like pouty face. At the one.
Yeah.
It's Michaela. Fuck.
Michaela.
Anyways,
But yeah,
so yeah, Osaka is going to be on the cover of some
Maroney
edition. That's what we were talking
yeah,
about.
Michaela
and
Maroney.
Then we went off the rails.
Yep.
Last thing that I got,
Last thing you got,
the boy Aaron Rodgers.
another bum.
Fuck him.
Whoa. Hold on. What?
I'm with Ryan on this one. Fuck him.
I don't like Aaron Rodgers at all. He's the reason the Packers are no longer my second favorite team. But goddamn, he's not a bum.
A solid player. He's highly overrated though.
Thank you.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I agree.
Aaron Rodgers has the greatest arm talent that has ever been
It's
seen.
one
in the
fucking
NFL.
ring and they talk about him like he's Tom Brady.
You haven't seen Chris late at night when he's lonely.
Thank you. Hey.
Oh my God.
He has one ring, dude.
I know he has one ring,
One
but he's
ring.
also has a 30th ranked defense every year.
Eli
except for
Manning
the year
has
that
won
he got
2
his ring.
rings. Eli Manning has won 2
No,
rings.
no. Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck, and Osi Umenyiora have 2 fucking rings. Eli Manning was there circumstantially, and they won in
Did he get a ring?
spite of him.
I think he got a
When Eli Manning makes it to the Hall of Fame, he will take over as the worst Hall of Famer. No, he won't.
And he'll still
Don't
have
name it
more
this
rings.
way. He will be the second worst Hall of Famer in the Hall of Fame.
He will still have more rings than Aaron Rodgers.
No, he won't. Aaron Rodgers will get another ring.
No, he will not.
No,
I believe he will.
Not.
I
has
believe
no
that he
defense.
will.
No, he will
Has
not.
no defense.
Because when he leaves Green Bay next year, he will leave and go to a team that does have a defense, and he will get a ring.
He should have done it this year. Yeah, go ahead.
He's under
Announce it.
contract.
It's too stupid.
Aaron Rodgers will be returning to the Packers this year. They were not able to
No balls.
figure out a trade, and he won't be sitting. Well, we don't know that he won't be sitting. He will be returning. There's nothing that says that he will play.
He'll fucking play.
I think he'll play as well. But
He's not coming back and not playing.
Yeah, he ain't getting a Jeopardy gig. Fucking, he's gonna go out there and play.
Yeah.
I think that Aaron Rodgers is phenomenal. I hate him. I think he's a dick. The dude is the biggest set of little man syndrome in the world.
Yeah.
But goddamn, is he talented? Aaron Rodgers can make every single throw.
I say he's a good quarterback. He's not Tom Brady though. They talk about this dude in the same field as Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is not as skilled as Aaron Rodgers, but he has more killer instinct and he has a quicker. I don't know if it's like his computing. Like the dude is a fucking robot.
His
Like,
mind.
he's the smartest quarterback
Yeah.
that we've ever seen.
That's what I want.
He makes the right play every single time.
That's what I want.
I agree. Rodgers, though,
has
has also been fucked by coaching in the past. Just last year, the fucking kick in the field goal, that was stupid as hell. He's the most talented arm talent that we have ever seen in the league. I think that he gets another ring. I think that this year, with him coming back to the Packers, I think they win 12 games.
So you think he gets another ring, not this coming season, but the following season?
I don't think he necessarily gets another ring with the Packers, but he's going to get another ring.
His time's up.
No.
How long? How
He
many
just
more
won the
seasons-
MVP.
How many more seasons do you think he plays?
16.
At least 5.
5 more?
Yeah.
So he's what, 38, 37?
Bro, no way.
Quarterbacks don't retire young anymore, man.
Yeah, but he's not
The
getting.
great ones,
he's not
Drew
getting a
Brees,
ring.
Tom Brady, these guys play into their 40s.
Where do you realistically?
Drew Brees could still play. He just decided not to.
He's a bum too. Where do you realistically? Where do you realistically think that Aaron Rodgers is going to go?
There's like
At-
12 people that have thrown for 5,000 yards, and Drew Brees has done it 7 of those times.
Yeah, well, I've done it once. So
You haven't. You've not done it once.
Listen.
You haven't even done it on Madden.
Listen, where do you realistically think he goes after this season? That he's going to go and win a ring?
We were saying Denver, right?
Not that like a hypothetical, like if he went there, he would win. Where do you really think he has an opportunity to go?
I don't even know if his contract's up this year. I don't know what his contract situation is, but let's just assume that next year he's not with the Packers. They trade him or they let him walk or whatever. I think the Broncos would be a fantastic choice. I think he wins a ring with the Broncos.
Need some help out there.
I think that he could win a ring in New England. I think that he could win a ring with Carolina.
Would you welcome him? Would you welcome him to the Browns?
No, because we don't need him. We have Baker Mayfield.
But would you?
Why would you even bring that up?
Take
We
that,
don't need him.
take that last one back.
I think he could win a ring with the Steelers, and that would be the worst thing that I would ever fucking see. 100%.
I would take him, but I don't think we have a lot to do.
You have a phenomenal
I
defense.
know, but we have a lot to do, man.
And all you would have to do is shore up your offensive line. You don't need a running back when you have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Najee Harris will be good enough regardless of how he performs this year. Your receivers are not great, but they're good enough for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers made guys like fucking Donald Driver and Greg Jennings look like fucking superstars.
Yeah.
He made Jordy Nelson look like a goddamn all-pro. He wasn't a goddamn all-pro.
I'll tell you what, Jordy Nelson on a fantasy team, though, so fun.
Oh, 16 touchdowns
So
and
fun.
1,300 yards.
So fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I see him winning a ring. He's gonna have to get on the right team and quick.
He would
make
win a
it
ring with
happen.
any of those teams.
Not Carolina.
You don't think with Carolina?
No way.
Him and Christian McCaffrey? Nobody's stopping him. All you need is a decent defense. You just can't be last, and they still win that.
You guys want him out in Dallas?
No, they have Dak Prescott. And they have,
Here's the thing. If he
don't you guys have Mike McCarthy still?
if he can't, yeah, that's why it would never work. Anyway, no, I'd said, if there was ever a time where Aaron Rodgers came to the Cowboys, I would welcome it, but I still don't like him.
I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I really don't. As much as I play him up, I hate Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers as a person.
I'm
He's
with-
a fucking dick.
I'm kind of with Jesse where I say like, yeah, I think he's a great quarterback, but as far as all time goes, he hasn't made my list yet. And he's got a little ways to go to get up there with the Bradys, the Montanas, the Breeze.
I don't think he's up there with those guys, but
He's no Peyton either.
I put him between 6 and 8.
That's fair. Top 10 is fair.
That's called
not
7.
top 5.
He's
by
not
the
top
way.
5 yet.
Somewhere like over 6, but
Give
like
me a Smirnoff.
not quite 8.
Oh, that number 7. Okay. I think that's all we got for sports.
Brady, Montana,
Thank God.
Breeze, Peyton, Marino. Yeah.
Marino.
I don't know if he's in
Marino
the top
at?
5, but
Best quarterback to never
I
win it,
love Marino.
for sure.
Marino's great.
I love Marino.
Marino was doing shit way ahead of his time.
Yeah, dude.
He's probably at like 5.
I mean, he's the guy that beat
5 to
all
7,
Tarkenton's
somewhere
records.
in there.
I think that's fair.
Tarkenton's records were untouchable, and Marino came in and said, "My 3rd year, I'm going to beat them all."
Yeah, Marino's was dope.
Yeah, I'd have to really like sit down and look at it, but he's probably around 5. Because I know for sure I've got Brady, Breeze, Manning, and Montana ahead of him.
Yeah, Joe Montana.
Joe
That's great.
Montana.
He's my number 2.
Dude, I loved watching.
Best
him play.
linebacker since Joe Montana.
So good.
Joe Montana was a quarterback, you crazy asshole.
I said Montana.
All right, where are we going? Where are we going next,
Me,
boys?
I want the
Hollywood
smoke.
Report?
Give me the smoke.
Give him the smoke. Give me a Smirnoff.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait. Everybody calm down! Two, Steve, assemble!
Christopher, thefilmfreak.com. What's going on, movie guy, movie man? Remember there was a guy on Elvis Duran, I think he was called the Movie Man. Do you remember watching him?
That movie Mance?
Movie Man. It was called, I think he was called like the Movie Man. He was on Elvis Duran in the morning show, and he would do like quick, like 60-second movie reviews.
Really?
It was pretty cool.
I actually
You need to
thought
do
about that when I first got into it. I'm like, I should do something quick like that. Would be cool. Now I'm fucking doing 1,800 words each
I
time.
still think you should
You
throw
should
it in
do both.
there.
What's 60 seconds?
Yeah.
You could do just TikTok, bro.
There's
TikTok,
no movie people on
60-second
TikTok.
movie reviews, bro. That would be so dope.
Mhm.
I'm going to be setting him up with the hub pages here soon.
And I'm going to
see
set you
if
up with
it
a
takes
TikTok.
off.
Let's do this.
Let's get to the news.
What's going on in Hollywood Reports?
Well, guys, we talked about the Britney Spears case so long ago. She got turned down for her conservatorship, and now she has been granted permission by the courts to appoint a lawyer on her own terms. So she has
how
hired.
the fuck do you need permission to have your own lawyer?
Does that seem like there's something wrong with that to begin with? So she has hired Matthew Rosengart, who has served on the U.S. Supreme Court. He has done a lot of Hollywood cases too, anywhere from Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam to Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Keanu Reeves. He's served under all these people, won all of these cases for these celebrities too. And this is a guy that means business. Right off the bat, in his opening statements, he has said that Britney Spears should not have needed a conservatorship to begin with. That's a hard word to say.
Sounds like a dick.
Conservatorship. But yeah, that she should not have needed it from the very start, and that Jamie Spears, if you're going to anoint him as the guy to do it, totally wrong guy. He's not fit for that role to begin with. So he kind of is taking on a more aggressive tone to this whole case that her former counsel did not receive.
Yeah.
And it looks good for her. In addition to that, several female celebrities have come out, including also Elon Musk too, and have donated to her cause.
Several females, including Elon Musk.
I did. I said that too.
He's a lizard. He's not a male or female.
Have donated money to Britney Spears' legal fees. So like Christina Aguilera, Paris Hilton, there's a few of them that support her and have said that, they're going to invest as much as they can to help her
How much did Elon donate to her?
through all this. I don't have a specific number on. It's easy to Google to find that though, but
Literally, she's a peon to him. Isn't that great? Like, think about that for a second.
to
Britney
him,
Spears is the epitome of the 90s,
yeah.
a superstar that everybody knows. And Elon Musk is just like, here, have my scraps and it'll take care of your legal funds.
He's a billionaire entrepreneur, who's
I'll
probably
be
going
at
to be
Mars if you need me.
probably going to be a zillionaire. Yeah.
To your point with a lot of celebrities and stuff have come out as her support, but it's also become such a huge deal on like social media and getting so much like airtime and stuff
Mhm.
that they're looking to implement new laws and stuff to cover like conservatorship and stuff like that, and how it's appointed and how they monitor or how they update it and things like that. I don't know if it was Biden or some senators or something, but they came out and they said that they're going to implement a review of it because of how awful this has gone and how we've failed basically in the way that we allow those to be handled or appointed. And so it could be good for other people in similar situations or that are going to get appointed to that, because it's always been such a weird thing to me. Like they've said that maybe she doesn't need it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She did kind of like crackpot out there for a
in
little
the day.
bit,
That's a thing a lot of women will not admit, is that Britney was not the most stable person in the world. You know,
understandably so. Like, I mean, that's
Can't be shaving your head.
she broke down because of everything going on, and I mean, she had a mental breakdown, but I don't know how they decide. I mean, I don't know how you decide that. Is it because of how much money she had that they felt they needed to protect her, or was it for her mental well-being? Like, I don't understand that where that you draw that line. There's plenty of people that I know that are mentally unstable and they don't have a conservatory or whatever, conservatorship, whatever it's called. So I don't know if it's they were trying to protect her assets or her career or what.
That's where you have to hear from Jamie Spears, her father, you know, as far as his statements go.
Funny. I don't know that word.
I'm thinking about saying something, but I don't know if I should.
Oh, probably shouldn't have.
And the thing is, the best thing that could happen to this Britney Spears case is all these documentaries that came out, because they shed light, they shed attention on this court case. I think when you have that kind of heavy pressure to make the right moves and to, you know, guide her custody of her own, you know, beings, her own wealth, all that, I think then you start seeing a different side of things. And I honestly think this is the side that's going to work.
And here's the thing, hate it or love it. You know, the thing that brought a ton of light to her was TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
She started posting videos on TikTok.
Yeah.
And you could tell that she like looked like she was being forced, or that she was like looking for, like, people started viewing her TikToks and
Instagram too.
And her Instagram like reels.
Yeah.
And they were like, this just seems odd. And because it was only about a year ago that this really blew up, when she was locked up and you couldn't go anywhere because of COVID. So she was making videos at home to keep her image. And people started really questioning, like, this seems really weird.
And think about that too, in terms of the perfect storm. So like those documentaries drop right at a time when COVID is, you know, at its most lethal, when we're all stuck indoors, we've all got nothing to do but to watch TV, to binge watch these documentaries. So, you know, more people are watching something like that. More people are getting involved. More people are putting pressure on the court system to do stuff like this.
Right.
So yeah, I honestly think that now is, I think it's a time that works in her favor for sure. And you got to strike while the lightning's hot.
It's kind of suspicious.
I think Christina Aguilera set it up.
Britney Spears made COVID.
Shit, it sounds about right.
Oops, I did it again.
Anybody who kisses Wade
she's
Robson.
the Delta variant.
Moving on, video game news this week. We've got not one but two handheld stream gaming systems that are coming out called Stream Decks. These are for PC gaming, and they are produced from Valve, and I'm sorry, I'll get the other one here in a second. Valve and Elgort, two companies who are releasing these $400 models for PC gaming only. Some of the perks of these systems are really unique. A 7-inch touch screen with a resolution of 1,280 pixels per second, 16:10 aspect ratio, 400 nits, I don't know what that means, of brightness, and a 60 gigahertz refresh rate. So these are solid systems, and for $400, they are dropping as early as this fall. There is no release date yet, but what's unique about this case is Elgort and Valve being two distinctly different companies, like Nintendo and PlayStation will say, and on the exact same day, they came out with models that are fairly similar, two different products, and they both came out on the same day. Now, Elgort was the one that dropped second as far as chronologically goes. Valve did the first one. Elgort says they had no idea that this was happening in the first place. They said they had no idea their competition was dropping one, but they're going to capitalize since now the attention's on one. It can be on the other, and it might be good for both companies. Do you guys think this is good for two companies dropping?
Two things. Just so we don't get eaten alive, it's 1,280 pixels per square inch.
Per square inch.
Per second.
Thank you.
And this is weird. It's PC oriented, but it's a handheld. So how is that going to, like, what games are you going to play on there?
USB,
anything
baby.
you can just like download it from your computer onto the system?
Yeah, computer systems, games, like any kind of gaming that you see online. Like a lot of Doom games are on there now.
I think it's kind of odd to join that realm. I think if you're handheld, you're going to pick up a Switch or something like that. If you're playing PC, it's because you want to be PC based.
But what about like World of Warcraft? Isn't that PC?
I think you can play that on other.
That's my thing. If you're not in a competitive gaming, this will be good. when it comes to things like Call of Duty and all that, like
Yeah.
if you're on a PC, like you're fucking
It's 'cause
sweaty.
you wanna
like
be on a
you're
PC.
insane and you're trying to get the advantage of having the PC.
Yeah.
Um,
And they're unknown names. I don't see them doing.
I think it'll take off though. I mean, to
Think
be
so?
able to, if you're a casual gamer, you do something like, I mean, I've never played World of Warcraft, but I'm assuming it's everybody always talks about your mom and in your mom's basement and this and that. So I'm assuming it's a long stretch thing where you're just kind of doing your thing.
It's a big community of gamers.
Yeah,
too.
but like to do that on the go
Mhm.
is huge.
Mhm.
I guess that's true because Nintendo's the only one offering a handheld right now.
Yeah.
Right.
PlayStation X, they don't have anything like that anymore.
And that's what they're
Yeah.
modeling it after. So they said they want to capitalize on Switch fans, but at the same time, the design, if you look at it, looks like a Sega Game Gear classic. You know, that handheld, and it's
that's dope.
like I said, a 7-inch screen. So to me, I think that's solid, man.
It expands the game range, I guess, at that point because Nintendo's so restricted in their titling.
Yeah.
The Switch has such a
So-
monopoly on it right now. To be
Yeah.
able to branch out and do other
That's
games
true.
is a big deal.
It's true.
Because if you've got a Switch, all you're playing is Nintendo properties.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's all that,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's why the
huge.
Switch survives all the time because it's a fun system. It's not a great system, but you got to play Mario on that.
And-
You got to play Pokemon on that. There's
Yeah.
nothing else you can do.
And those are great points. In my opinion, we've heard, and we've even talked about it on this show, Netflix is going to start getting into gaming a little bit more. I see them attracting to something like Valve or Elgort rather than to something like a Nintendo Switch or, you know, something of
PlayStation Plus or
measure.
something.
Yeah. So to me, like, especially considering this is an online outlet, you know, they'll flock more to something that's dedicated entirely to PC gaming rather than something, like you said, that's so exclusive to one
Yeah.
console.
Yeah, I think it's dope. I think it'll be, if it takes off and works,
Mhm.
I don't think that those two I've never heard of those companies before. I don't know how big they are, but I mean, they obviously can't be as big as anything that we've heard of, like Switch or PlayStation or
Valve and
whatever.
Elgort. Yeah.
But if it does take off, you're going to see a resurgence of things like PS Vita, and Xbox exclusive that will be like, they will take what works, perfect it, and then you'll see more of that handheld stuff come back around.
And don't you think competition is always the best thing too?
100%.
Like more hands in the cookie jar, it always works for gamers.
Especially between Sony and Microsoft going at it.
Mhm.
Because when, like, Nintendo's always going to be their thing. They're always just going to be like, hey, we've got our own characters, we've got our own games, we're going to just kind of live off of this. But that competition really comes in between PlayStation and Xbox.
Mhm.
And if the new platform can arise of like handheld gaming,
Mhm.
that could go back to like those Game Boy kinds of days, that would be phenomenal.
I agree.
Do you think that if Xbox or Sony released a handheld that they would be successful?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
why haven't they ever capitalized on that?
Well,
And
I
that
mean,
makes me wonder. Yeah.
PlayStation tried. PS Vita did not do good.
oh, that's right, they did have.
They had a handheld PlayStation that was able to take your PlayStation 3 games, I believe. You could take them mobily.
Wow. So this was
Um,
pretty recent then.
And it seemed revolutionary when they talked about it, but ultimately people didn't want to play those games on the go.
That's so strange.
It just wasn't that type of, I think that when you get into mobile gaming, I think that it has to be a simple thing. I don't want to sit at
I
a
agree.
park bench and play GTA 5 or Call of Duty.
Even for the addicts playing it on the road, like
Yeah,
on the road.
On my Switch, I
It's-
play Tetris, Mario Kart,
Mhm.
Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
You're not playing an in-depth storyline game. Even Zelda was a bit of a stretch. It was really fun on the Switch, but that's a time lengthy game. I mean, you might play it on your TV, but at that point, it takes away from the point of just having the Switch, which is a handheld carry take with you type thing.
Mhm.
So yeah,
When you look at the things that are the most successful handheld games of all time, you've got Tetris, which you can put down at any moment. You've got Pokemon,
Yeah.
which is a story that's drawn out, but it's ultimately very, very simple. You can save and turn it off at any point. You can't do that with Call of Duty.
Mhm.
You know, you're not going to play
Yeah.
a match where you're stuck with it, or even like a Zelda. Like everybody
Yeah.
loves Zelda because of the history of it, but that is a long, open world type of game.
And you can stop whenever you want. Yeah.
Right.
with
And it's
Zelda.
the same thing. But like when you get into things that are a little bit more advanced, those first person shooters, God of Wars, those high octane,
yeah,
fast action, great story type of things, it just doesn't seem to translate as well because people want to sit and binge that on a big screen
Yeah.
for 4 hours when they first get the game. You wouldn't be able to get a Spider-Man game on a handheld and be able to experience it the way that I can on my 60-inch screen with a PlayStation 5.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a good point. I'm glad that question was asked because, yeah, I've always kind of wondered that with those other two consoles too. Like, why haven't they, dabbled into those kind of waters, creatively?
Yeah, I think that they can do it. It's just you can't just be like, well, we've got Spider-Man for the PlayStation 5 and for your PlayStation handheld.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't going to sell. You got to come up with new properties that work for the handheld.
I was just about to say, you should almost develop more of those skilled gaming kind of games, the ones that are like Tetris.
Like when PlayStation 5 first came out, they had the little VR room with the little robot character that came free with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a perfect handheld game. That game was so fun. It's very simple, level oriented. You can turn it on for whenever you want. That would be a perfect type of game. What is it called? I don't know. Little cute robot. He's fun.
Transitioning into the movie news, which is always our favorite here. LeBron, your boy, Jesse.
LeBron James.
Your boy is not only great as a basketball player, you say the greatest of all time.
I don't say, it's a fact.
Okay. Now,
I was told by the Lord.
He has moved over into the movie world. I mean, certainly nothing new, but for the first time ever, he is number one at the box office. And this week, he not only attained number one, he took out a big dog. He took out someone from the MCU, the Black Widow. $32.1 million. Space Jam, A New Legacy made over 26.4 to Black Widow.
And can I add to that? Black Widow was $30 on Disney Plus. Space Jam is for free, and it still beat them.
I'm glad you brought that up.
But have we ever we talked about that? Did the streams count?
Yes.
So the streams count.
Yes.
So they're being free help.
So
there goes your point.
So we're going to explain this a little bit now. Theaters are pissed right now because basically Black Widow suffered a 41% drop this week in theaters
for free movie.
Yeah. So now it has transitioned over to Disney Plus. You're paying $30, you said?
Yep.
$30
for this market. Okay. They're still doing the stupid $30 thing. So yeah, Black Widow kind of fucked itself on this. And to me, why I think this doesn't make sense is because we talked about this since May of last year when it was originally supposed to come out. Why couldn't you just drop it on Disney Plus to begin with? And then after 1 week of being in theaters, they do it anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
This doesn't make sense to me, gentlemen.
But yeah, that well, here's the thing that's weird. Okay, to Jesse's point, we take into account the streams and the number of views, but how does that correlate to fun, like money made at the box? So like when it was watched on HBO Go, how does that affect?
Well, it's number one on the box office, isn't it? That's not HBO.
No.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it was number one in the box. It was.
I don't understand the question.
What it made 30. What was the
20
talking about?
It was 26.4 this week. Black Widow made,
so
and
like,
that was second place.
Yeah, and Space Jam topped that at the box office.
Yeah, 32.1.
So, how does that affect? How does it being on HBO Go for free affect it?
Well, the HBO numbers aren't counted toward the box office. Okay. The box office is entirely a movie.
It won anyways. That was my point.
No, you're right. Yeah, I thought we were saying that it correlated. They took that into account.
But in my opinion, this is a bad move because they fucked themselves in the box office. So an MCU movie, you can look at it and go, typically most of the time MCU is number one for about a month. Yeah. Usually it's about that 4-week mark. They maintain it. Doesn't matter what comes out behind it.
Right.
They're number one for a month. That's their month. And most movie production companies know not to release anything right after that.
Yeah, people dread the MCU.
So basically, I think this is a move where they screwed Black Widow, which we'll talk about that movie here in a second. But to me, it only does it more harm, more trauma to do this after 1 week.
Who screwed Black Widow though?
Marvel did, because they brought this to Disney, the Disney Plus service for $30 1 week after it dropped in theaters. If you did it a month, that's fine, because that's about the time when they start running out of steam anyway, as we talked about. Yeah. But to me, to do this 1 week after, that severely compromises your intake.
I thought it all happened at once. I didn't realize it was delayed.
No, it was 1 week. So they dropped this week. When Space Jam hit on Friday, that's when Black Widow went to Disney Plus.
I bet you anything though, they make more money off of that though.
Oh sure,
because you're not making any cuts with the theaters now. They just care about the money going in their pocket. They don't care about the box office.
We've talked about this too. It's to me, the Disney Plus model is great for a family. So like, you're going to be a family of 3 soon. For you guys, this model is terrific. For somebody like me, a single guy who just wants to go and see a movie once, I'm not going to pay $30 fucking. There's very few movies I'm going to pay $30 for.
Well, what movie would you pay $30 for that you wouldn't be able to get in the theater?
I haven't.
It has to be. It has to be my like 1 or 2 best movies.
It's got to be something that you got to see today that's sold out at the theater.
But again,
I would pay for probably Dune. I would pay $30 to go see it.
You'd go,
But you
pay
go to the
$30.
theater first.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, you ain't paying. I'm not paying $30 to watch a movie at home. I have yet to this point bought a movie off Disney Plus.
You want boom
I
and
will
sound,
not.
that experience. You
Hell
want that
yeah.
immersive experience.
If it's $5 or $10, I'll pay for it at home. I don't care. But
Yeah.
I'm not paying
especially something
$30.
like Black Widow. That's even though it wasn't my favorite MCU movie
We'll talk
ever,
about it,
but
yeah.
it was just like you got to see it in the theaters at least once.
Mhm.
I just wanted to see 20-foot tall Florence Pugh.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, it's to me. So
By the way, you do realize that the only reason that LeBron's movie made so much money is because all the people watching it at I Promise School, right?
Oh my god, that was free.
I thought you were going to take my statement there for a
Akron
second.
Theater or whatever.
That was free.
I was going to say, I think Marvel screwed themselves in this, and I think they would still be number one had they not dropped it until a month later. I mean, $5 million, $6 million is what the difference was. You can't tell me they wouldn't have made that. So
I think what people probably here's the thing. I get your point and I agree.
Yeah.
They're fucking the theater by dropping it so soon.
and theaters are pissed.
But are you paying $30 for a movie after it's already been out for a month? No, you start to expect it to be free. I'm not waiting a month and then paying $30 for rent. If it's a month and then they're going to charge maybe 5 or 10, okay. But I'm not going to wait for a movie that's already been out for that long and then pay $30 to watch
But
it. It's got to drop right away because that's part of the money that they're charging is
Mhm.
like, I get to watch this when it drops, but I don't got to go to the theater.
But the argument is that pays once again toward the family of 3 or 4 because not all movie fans are like you and I, hardcore
Right.
movie fans who go and we have to see, 2 or 3, 4 or 5 films a month. Some people will say, look, theater prices are expensive as it is. I'm not going to pay $20 for popcorn, so I'm going to wait until it hits video to begin with. So some people will be fine with that month and they'll wait it out and all that. I think a majority will. I think it's safe to say a majority, wouldn't you?
The price point's just too high.
average
That's it.
average person sees a movie 2 times a year.
There you go. 2 times a year, which I see in 2 days.
Right.
So
crazy.
yeah, that's different.
I mean, here's the thing. No offense. Marvel isn't killing nothing with theater.
Well, the
People
thing
are.
and the
2 movies a year is
Yeah.
nothing. You
Yeah.
ain't surviving off that with Marvel or not.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is like I thought that Black Widow would have had crappy reviews from the critics.
Mine was,
It's
by the
an
way,
81% certified fresh and 92% audience score. So that takes away my argument. I thought that they were going to be like, well, we'll put it on there because it's not doing great. At least people will watch it at home. It's doing fucking great.
here's the thing
Critics
too.
are cynical assholes.
That's right.
I saw-
You're one of them.
I saw Black Widow on a Monday night at 10:15,
Oh wow.
and my theater was full.
Wow.
I went
people actually
opening
went and
night,
saw it,
and
like-
it was packed.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I was shocked. I thought I was going. I was going to be the only person there. 10:15 on a Monday night,
That kind of surprises me.
and it was probably half full. I mean, it was more people I've seen in the theater in a long.
And
ass
you're
time.
the asshole that keeps the worker there later at night.
Yes, I do, because those are the best times to go. I thought I was going, no one's going to be there.
Let's talk about number 2 for a second. Black Widow, guys. What'd you think about it?
I loved it.
Loved it?
You loved it?
I really liked it.
Give me some things you really liked about it.
Scarlett Johansson,
Mhm.
Florence Pugh.
Okay.
I thought that I liked their choice for villain.
Mhm.
I thought it was fun. I liked the little bit of origin story they did. They never really talked much about Black Widow and like her, her story and where she came from and stuff. So I thought that was cool to see. It was action filled. It was weird. It didn't feel like a Marvel movie to me though. It just felt like an action movie. Like I didn't get that Marvel.
Is that good or bad?
Neither or.
Mhm.
It just didn't feel Marvel movie. Like had it not been Black Widow, it was just an action movie. I just didn't have that Marvel flair.
Spy thriller.
I don't know. It was kind of weird, but I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Love was probably a little much. I enjoyed it though.
What did you give it
I think I said an 8.
out of a 10? 8 out
I
of 10?
think I said 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 8's probably fair.
Solid.
You guys gave it like a 5. Jesse's over here.
I'll tell you
Jesse's
what I
over here
think.
doing the LeBron.
I'll tell you what I think in a second. Jesse, what did you think about Black Widow?
I gave it a 6. I think that it's okay. There was some really cool stuff in it. I liked Taskmaster at the beginning, like that bridge fight is dope. I loved the opening scene. I thought that's one of the greatest opening scenes that they have in Marvel with the kids and they're running and like you see him show his powers and they're shooting the people trying to escape and all
Smells
that.
like Teen Spirit in the intro.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That when that played, I was like, fuck, this is gonna be great. They just got away from it at the end. I don't like the stupid everything's exploding. Let's fall 3,000 feet and somehow survive. I just think it's dumb.
It was that it kind of felt like a DC action piece where they throw everything at the screen in the final 2 minutes.
Like it was just, I didn't like, so I'm not a huge Marvel nerd. I'm not like a comic person. I've seen a lot of comic people being like, they ruined Taskmaster. They made it a female and they're not supposed to have a chip in their head. It's supposed to be that he's just super good. I don't give a shit about that. I thought Taskmaster was cool. I liked that they mimicked the fighting styles of all the Avengers and all that other stuff. I thought that was really cool. I thought they missed the mark on a couple of things. One was the spoilers. The Red Guardian talked about like how he fought Captain America all those times. And then you have somebody who literally fights exactly like Captain America with a shield and everything, and you kick their ass and there's no like moment of that. I thought that was kind of a missed thing. I didn't like the end. I felt like it was very anticlimactic. They fall through the sky and there's that big, huge, debris falling through the sky type of thing. Very similar to Spider-Man saving the Guardians.
And that goes forever, man. That scene, man. I'm like, how fucking high is
she's
this thing,
falling
man?
for fucking minutes. But then at the end, she just like punches the thing and it like releases Taskmaster, and she's just like, make sure you kill him, or is he dead, or some shit like that. And it's just like everybody's hunky-dory, and I hate that shit. Whenever I was younger, like Spider-Man 2 I think is one of the best Spider-Man movies until the end.
Sam Raimi's, it's my favorite
until the end, because Doc Ock is a fucking villain and he shouldn't save the day by saving it. It's supposed to be Spider-Man. He's
a redeeming villain,
and I hate that shit.
Yeah.
In this same thing, I have the exact same problem. She punches the thing, and I was so sure that this bitch was going to be like, you really thought that I was going to give a fuck? Like, I thought she was going to be pissed that she got blown up still and still try to kill her. Like, I thought there was going to be that moment where she was going to be like, Natalia or whatever the fuck her name is. Natasha. I thought she was going to be like, everything's okay. Like, I've freed you from this spell. And then she was just going to like grab her throat or something and be like, you blew my fucking face off. But she's just like, is he dead? He was such a bad guy. And I think that that's so fucking lame. Like, I'm so tired of villains and heroes at the end of these movies being like, all we need is love. It's not a goddamn Beatles album. It's a fucking Beatles Marvel movie. And she should have had a huge fight. It just ended so fast. It was dumb. It ended bad. The whole thing was great up until that point. It ended terribly. And I think Florence Pugh is the best actor in this entire movie.
So it's
actress.
It's safe.
I don't know.
So it's safe to say a lot of your problems resonate in the third and final act, the climax of the film, if you will.
It just didn't capitalize the way that it should have. I had to wait 2 years for this movie, and I know they didn't plan on it having to wait 2 years, but we already know she's dead. We already know she's not coming back. We know that she's just a human. Like, we didn't need this story. The story didn't further the MCU in any way.
Here's a very valid point: is it's hard to watch as knowing she's dead.
Right.
She's currently dead.
And that's
a big takeaway. That's like a big
to Jesse's credit. That's why I said when they released this, it's kind of questionable,
Like, I think it would have been better to not kill her in Endgame and release this before Endgame and have her die to the Taskmaster or something,
right?
Than to have this movie come out afterwards.
I would have even been fine like before Civil War.
We just didn't need this movie.
Well, this movie would have been okay if she didn't die in Endgame. If this came out after Endgame and she didn't die, whatever. But knowing she died, right? We're gonna watch this, and it's the storyline's really,
And like, I get that they're
lowers it.
And you're looking
they're trying to set things up, but it's just like,
it doesn't matter because she's dead.
All we know now is that we have a character that they're going to use in this future setup.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
We don't need to know any of this stuff about Natasha going, like, in to appreciate what she was going, like, for all the other things, Iron Man 2 through Endgame.
Yeah.
So it's just dumb.
It's irrelevant.
To both of your points, like, that's the thing. So when this releases, the fact that this is releasing in 2021, we'll say 2020 for argument's sake, that's when it was supposed to release. Even in 2020, this doesn't make sense.
No.
Because this is the first step of phase 4.
Right.
So for me, I want to see what kicks it off. Where are we looking at from the ground up? Like, this is the part where we start the next era of this thing. So we're going backwards already.
Right.
That's a problem to me.
What's their mindset in this? What other movie series is released where it comes after that character's already died?
Hasn't been one.
It really,
in the
now
MCU.
that I didn't really think about it out loud.
You could argue Elektra, but Yeah.
Ugh. And that was terrible.
Yeah.
Electra was terrible.
Yeah.
I just like, now that you've said that out loud, that just really irks me. That bothers me.
But let me make it clear though. So to me, like you're going backwards already. You've established nothing for this next step, minus maybe a post-credit scene, which so basically all we got out of this 2-hour movie for the next era is 5 minutes.
Right.
And if you don't take grace with that 5 minutes, if you don't think it's the most mind-blowing thing ever, which it's not, it's an okay post-credit scene. It's nothing great.
Right.
All it is it prepares you for a show that's coming out on the Disney Plus system. It's nothing that builds you toward a movie.
Right.
It's for the Hawkeye series.
Right.
So transitioning a little bit, I want to talk about a little bit of my positives and negatives. You guys ran through a lot of it, so I'll be really quick. Positives to me, yes, Florence Pugh is definitely the show stealer of this movie for me. She is not only charismatic and funny and hilarious and consistent with this accent too. I heard a lot of critiques about her accent. I thought her accent was solid and consistent for most of the movie.
I thought it was too.
Yeah. And to me, like the funny thing is, I think Scarlett Johansson does great. Like she's solid enough, but the thing is she's the least interesting character in this whole movie. It's really these bigger than life personalities like her father, like her mother, like Florence Pugh as her sister, Olivia, I think's her name, Uliva. Something like that. Yelena. Yeah. So these three, I felt like I loved watching them. They're dynamic the whole movie. I'm like, honestly, if Scarlett Johansson wasn't in this and they were talking about her posthumous, I'd be fine with this movie. Like I'd be 100% better with that movie. Plus it would start the phase 4 right. Like we should fucking have in the first place. Yeah. Look, MCU blew their storytelling. This is going to be the one era in their storytelling over 13 years that it's been with the MCU. This is the one era they've had because they should have released this movie arguably before Civil War. It certainly matches up that way chronologically.
I have another gripe.
Okay. Give me 1 second. But I thought the casting was perfect in this. And to me, like the action set pieces are fun. And I feel like Jesse said this too. He touched on the opening 15, 20 minutes, we'll say, of the movie. If that is the movie for the whole movie, this is one of the best MCU movies we've ever had.
It's right up there with Winter Soldier.
It's so dark and it's so it breaks into taboos that we've never heard in Disney, let alone in a Marvel movie.
100%.
Like it's so like it talks about, kids being shipped off and against their will, the life they were promised and the life that they ended up with. I mean, it's dark and devastating and gritty. And I loved everything about that opening act of this movie. And I feel tonally, shifting into some of the negatives, tonally it becomes kind of a comedy by the end of the movie, which I'm fine with. There's some good comedies, like comedy lines of dialogue dropped in this movie, mainly with Yelena's character. Mm-hmm. But to me, it almost got a little too comic at the end. I mean, this is a tragic spy thriller story. Like this is a girls who got their lives ripped from them. Their parents who aren't arguably their parents in the first place, right. Sisters who aren't arguably sisters to begin with in the first place. There's a real tragic essence to the story, and we're laughing at most of it to begin with. That really irked me. Like that bothered me throughout this movie. I felt tonally, it's fine to cater to the MCU fans, but why not make a movie dark for once? Make it have its own identity compared to the Iron Mans, compared to the Captain Americas. This is the dark and gritty nature that Natasha took on her whole life. So that's my problem with that. Unlike you guys, I did not like the antagonist at all in this movie. So first of all, Taskmaster, I think is great. Those first few, the scene you talked about on the bridge, amazing fucking fight scene.
Hell yeah.
When the Taskmaster is masked, it's beautiful. It's everything that was promised. I don't have a problem with her being a female at all. That's not where my gripe is. My gripe is that she, just like the Mandarin, took second stage to a weaker, undeveloped villain hanging in the shadows, who is not half of Natasha's strength or mental wit, anything about that makes you think, wow, Natasha's in trouble here. Same thing with Iron Man 3. Sam Rockwell, nobody thought for a second, oh my God, Iron Man's in trouble. No, he's going to get his ass kicked in about 10 seconds. So that, I think it drops all of the climax to this movie, in my opinion. And I overall, I thought the set pieces were solid. I thought, it was the movie we were promised, and I thought better of it. Going into it, I was like, I wasn't looking forward so much to this movie, but I felt what I was promised. The cast is electric, and the soundtrack is beautiful too. The musical score is really
I enjoyed it.
Gratifying. I gave it a 7 out of 10. So I'm right in between you guys,
which was a lot higher than I was expecting from you. I was expecting a 5.
I expected dog shit. I thought this movie was going to be Thor 2 level of bad, and it ended up being pretty good.
I wouldn't have it on my lower Marvel tier. I would have it probably right in the lower middle.
It's one of those movies that I'm probably not going to watch a ton again, but it'll be one of those ones where you throw it on one day and you go, oh yeah, I remember. I didn't realize this was as good as I thought that it was. It's like Captain America 1.
Yeah.
It's not Winter Soldier, but it's the first Captain America.
Mhm.
It's solid. It's very good. You can watch it. It's a 6.
And can you imagine how much more weight this would have added to Natasha's climax when she goes off the cliff in Endgame? Like knowing everything that happens in this movie before that scene ever took place and going into that scene, you care more about her character. Her character's more developed.
Yeah.
You've rode 2 hours with this character by herself and her family, and now meets
Knowing
her
she has
untimely
family,
end.
she has something to lose.
Exactly.
She goes
Stakes.
out with Clint, knowing that she's fighting with him because he has family, but knowing that she also doesn't, she's still willing to make that
wasn't
sacrifice.
this movie released 5 years ago?
Yeah, it misses a lot of the marks when it comes to that stuff.
Yes.
Fucking Marvel.
So 7 out of 10 on that one for me. I want to talk about 2 more properties here. Space Jam. Did Jesse see it? No. Okay. We'll be brief and we'll be.
You can spoil. I don't really care about Space Jam that much.
It's the GOAT.
It is the GOAT.
You
But
don't
my
care
wife
about
wants
the
to watch it with
GOAT?
me, so I gotta wait until she's ready to watch it.
Okay, Ryan, you and I.
You and I.
When-
Ryan cried like he does it every.
Did I
fucking
cry?
movie. You said you did.
You did.
Cry?
You did say you cried.
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna
think I
take a
was-
piss while you guys talk about
I
it.
think I was joking. I think I was making some kind of joke because.
Go his.
Oh, yeah, I was joking at the Bugs Bunny part
Yeah.
because it goes on to it goes on to it where it during the game. You're on camera. It's on camera. What am I fucking talking? I can't talk because I got a fucking dick in my face. Bugs Bunny dies,
Yeah.
and I think that's the end, and then he comes back. And anyways, what did you think, Chris? What did you give it?
I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Give it a 4?
Yeah, I didn't like this movie.
Not good. A 4?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Oh my god! What did you? Well, but in its defense, you said you gave the original Space Jam. You didn't like that either.
I gave it the original Space Jam between a 5 and a 6 to me.
So it's not much better.
Yeah.
I didn't love it.
Mhm.
Didn't hate it. Didn't love it. It was fun. We're adults. It's not a movie for us.
Mhm.
It's for kids. Kids gonna watch it and enjoy it.
Mhm.
A lot of my issues, which we talked about online, is a lot of the throwbacks are aged too far for the audience. It's cool that they brought in like Warner Brother properties and stuff like that, and
Nostalgia porn.
him flying through the universe and seeing himself as in Harry Potter world and Batman and Superman,
Game
all
of
that kind of shit.
Thrones.
Yeah, that's cool. But that more is for, it's like they did fanfare for the adults that they knew were going to be watching with the kids, but
Mhm.
so much of that is just going to go over the kids' heads. So it felt so cluttered during the game.
It's just strange.
That was my
yeah.
biggest thing, is during the game, it was so overwhelming and there was no basketball.
Mhm.
90% of the basketball game was all of the things that these characters could do. They didn't play any basketball.
No, and the game was confusing because it wasn't basketball. It was a game created by his son. So to me, like the rules we weren't on board with right away from the start of the movie.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to follow along, and I've watched it twice now. I've tried to follow along to see like, okay, so style points, you get how many points for that? Sometimes it's 17, sometimes it's 15. I'm
It
like,
was like NBA Jam rules.
right. So I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to follow along to this game? Like at least in this first Space Jam movie, it was a basketball game.
Yeah.
There weren't rules, true, but to me, like you knew what was a 3-pointer, you knew what was a dunk, everything.
Yeah.
So it did.
I didn't love that.
It got cluttered, and like you said, the nostalgia porn, like it was all over the place, and it was so distracting to see. Here's the thing: I don't have a problem if you have like Superman in animated form, flying over the game or whatever, just standing there. I have no problem with that. But the fact is, you had some dude in cosplay and Superman outfit.
Yeah.
To me, it looked so lame. It looked like it looked so cheap. The worst episode of Mad TV that I've ever seen in my life. And just all of these elements, I don't think mix particularly well with the attention of the game.
There was too much going on in the audience of the game. A lot of people said, I think yourself included, that Don Cheadle like blew it out of the water, which I didn't really see. Like, I mean, he wasn't.
I thought he was the best part of the movie.
He wasn't awful.
Yeah.
But I'm like, a lot of people are like talking like he was like the greatest thing ever, and I'm like,
Oh, I don't think
he didn't have like a really hard part to play, and there wasn't. This movie had no dialogue.
No.
And that was one of the biggest things.
Dude.
It's like LeBron is not an actor. I'm not saying Trainwreck was decent. Like
yeah,
it was good. He's good in
Smallfoot too.
He's had small moments where like he's shined as an actor, but he's not an actor.
Mhm.
And like in this movie, you could tell. I mean, there was no emotion.
Yeah.
It was extremely monotone. You're fucking in Space Jam, a movie that you pretty much put on for yourself and show no excitement, no emotion. There was like nothing exciting going on whatsoever. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Like,
and he might as well be saying these motivational hymns every line of dialogue where he goes like, the difference between extraordinary and ordinary is that little extra.
yeah.
Like you might as well be saying that the whole fucking
The
movie.
opening scene where he with his sons and they're on the basketball court in his backyard.
Yeah.
Is just, that's not, you don't talk to your
You got
kid like
practice.
that.
You got practice.
It was
You better play
so
good.
dry.
Do that move I taught you.
Yeah, it was. I like the original. I like the original better.
Yeah, I do too.
This wasn't awful, but it was not great. And I mean, people are saying, well, you're just a LeBron hater. I'm not a LeBron hater. It just isn't. I love LeBron. I think LeBron does a lot of good. The movie just wasn't great.
I'm glad you brought that up. That is people's go-to anytime that you hate on a kid's movie. So like it's always, oh, you hate this property or you hate LeBron and all this. I don't hate LeBron James. I never have. I'm not on your level of fandom, granted.
I love him.
But I do think he is one of the 2 best players of all time, in my opinion.
I think he's.
He ain't number 2.
Look, he's a fantastic athlete. And from what I know, he's a great person. He does a lot for this community.
Absolutely.
He does a lot with charity and
Can't
things like
debate that.
And people will always find that. Well, he does it because it's a write-off for his money. Whatever.
He still
does
it.
a lot of good.
He does it
and there's a lot of
regardless.
people that have money that don't do it and they could.
Yep.
So
Yep.
he does a ton of good. I thought the movie was cool with the Akron throwbacks and like the opening scene. And
A love letter to his career.
That I thought was cool, but it's not about hating him. The movie just wasn't great.
And I take credit with that opening intro too, because very much in a love letter, you can edit out the mistakes that he's made. Obviously, the decision is the big one that people always point to. You can edit that out, but he didn't. He attacked it head on.
Not only just that, I thought the line where they said, well, he left Cleveland and he went to Miami, he left Miami and they left Cleveland. Like he cracked jokes at himself for things that he knows he gets shit for.
Yeah.
So he didn't like just gas himself up. Like he took some shots.
Don Cheadle said something at the end of that line when he said, you've left all those teams. He goes, yeah, you're kind of not a sure thing. And I was like, that's solid. You know, he's willing to take a beating. That's good.
He absolutely took some hits.
Yeah.
So, but people that are posting like that it was fantastic and was like I'm like, you're just a dick rider.
Yeah.
It's not about hating LeBron.
So how can I be a LeBron hater and you're a dick rider then?
Right. I mean, because there's no way you're giving that movie a 10. I mean, it got an awful rating on like, I think Rotten Tomatoes was like a 23 or 30%.
A 23?
It was awful.
The original Space Jam is only like a 40.
Yeah. They're not great movies.
Wow.
I mean, you have a cast of athletes.
This one's not. I mean, it's bad. It's not that
Come on.
bad.
They're not great films. They're fun. It's cool for kids. It was cool to see Looney Tunes again.
Yeah, the Looney Tunes are the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
by
but
far.
it's not.
Be aware, people, that if the Monstars had stolen this talent from the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, that they would have been enslaved to the Looney Tunes for all of those years on that planet because they would not have won.
Yeah, it's an interesting choices too that they make in this movie too, because it's not only just NBA stars, it's WNBA stars too, which I thought was pretty cool. Like, yeah, Sue Bird and my girl from Phoenix, Connecticut. Now I'm going to draw a
female
blank.
basketball player number 2,
like the current best player in the world.
Yeah, her. But I thought it was interesting that they picked AT for the main, like NBA guy.
Yeah, Dame Lillard and Anthony Davis.
Not AD.
Yeah,
and they took cracks at his eyebrows.
Man, look how they did my boy AD.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was all right. It wasn't great.
What'd you give it?
I don't know. Talking about it out loud, I'm kind of like, probably at 6.
6.
I think a 6. Not much higher than that.
It's a 4 for me.
Yeah.
What movie have you given below a 5?
I've given someone a 0.
Fences. He's given Fences. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Other than Fences,
worst movie ever apparently.
There's some bad movies. I can't really think of often because I try to avoid movies.
You love most movies.
I do. I enjoy
Cabin
a lot
Boy
of movies. I'm trying to think of a movie that I don't really love. I kind of like take those out of my memory. I don't try like people are like, what? Like I think we had a conversation. We're like, what's a movie you watch most often that you don't like? I'm like, well, I don't, because if I don't like it, I don't watch it. You know, so I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to think about that. I don't know off the top of my head though.
We'll let you think about it and wrap this Hollywood report up with some Loki talk.
Yeah.
So Loki is over. The 6 episodes have aired, and now I want to get these guys' first thoughts on how they feel about this whole thing. Who wants to kick it off?
Jesse Young.
I do. I was a little disappointed.
Okay.
The last episode sets up a ton of stuff for the MCU. It's going to blow the top off of what we're going to see in the future.
Can't argue that.
And I don't take anything away from them for doing that. I really, really thought when I saw that castle at the end of episode 5, I really thought that it was going to be Doctor Doom. I thought that it was going to be just like WandaVision, where they really like placed everything up and everybody was like, oh, it's Mephisto. Oh, they're bringing the mutants in. That's why they brought in the X-Men Quicksilver. Everybody. And then they just like pulled the rug and they were like, nope, it's actually Agatha. And this is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to do that with us, and it was going to be Doctor Doom. And because Fantastic Four is coming out at the end of this phase.
I think they're still going to put him in that too. Like, I think it's going to be closer to that.
I wanted it so bad. I remember we watched episode 5 and I was at home with Steph and I look over at her afterwards and she's like, are you crying? And I was like, I'm just so excited. I think it's Doctor Doom. Like, I was so fucking pumped. I was that excited.
See, I don't cry at stupid things by myself.
For it to be
You're not the only one.
I'm the
Anyway.
only one.
I think the dude, what is his name?
Kang the Conqueror.
No, but what's the actor's name?
Oh,
Anthony something?
No, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Doesn't matter. The dude who plays Kang, I think, did a great job.
He
I'm
was cool.
excited to see him play multiple different aspects of Kang.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that Kang the Conqueror is going to be the same quippy little fun dude that we saw in episode 6, where he's just kind of like talking shit and all giddy and everything.
Jonathan Majors.
But I didn't like how episode 6 was literally just an entire episode of exposition.
Yeah.
It was like, we've built this world, we've created all this great stuff, and now it's just kind of like, here's the explanation for everything really quick in 45 minutes, and this is what you have to look forward to going forward. I just felt like it was kind of weak. I think that episode 6 is the
episode.
Yeah, I think that's a problem.
It could have been longer.
So like,
I think 6 is the weakest episode of the entire
I agree.
series.
agree.
That is a problem. I feel like this series could have definitely been 10 episodes, especially with how much in those last 2 episodes, even that you unloaded a lot of information. I do agree with you on that, on that end.
Yeah.
What else do you think?
I think going forward, I think that WandaVision and the end of WandaVision and the end of Loki both have culminated for the multiverse of madness. I think that we're going to see a couple of filler movies that don't touch on these things, like Shang-Chi. Won't touch on any of the stuff that's happened here. But when we get into Spider-Man, we already know that all of these. Well, Quantumanium is not until next year. So Spider-Man's in December. And I think that Multiverse of Madness, I want to say,
November.
is next year as well.
Oh, maybe it did get moved back.
I could be wrong. But either way, those are the 2 movies that are really going to see the culmination of these shows come together.
Yeah.
And I think that that is going to be the next step for the MCU is, okay, we're done with all of this Infinity Gauntlet and, you know, all that other stuff. We're moving forward. We have this interdimensional threat.
Isn't it kind of weird how we just talked about movies transitioning into shows, and now it's shows transitioning into movies?
Yeah,
that's strange to me.
And I think that it'll work. I think that they have a big enough following after 13 years that they can just bank on the fact that everybody has seen Loki and WandaVision and Captain America or the Winter Soldier and
Falcon.
Falcon. But they have really put themselves in a position where they've got to do it perfect, because you have so much shit now with time travel, with how things have been changed, with being able to use these things to introduce new concepts that you weren't able to before. I don't want them to go, well, you know, we just got Fox and we've got mutants now and we've got Fantastic Four. So how can we incorporate them? Let's scrap what we had and use time travel to fill it all in. And because that will be the worst thing they can do.
That's always been one of the complaints of the King comics, like the comics that he's been a part of, is that it's very convoluted and it jumps the shark more than a few times.
Yeah. See, I haven't read any of the comics, and I don't know much about him other than the fact that he's just a dude. He's just a dude that has crazy technology because he has time travel and
time
he's been
travel
able
is
to
his,
get crazy amounts of stuff. But
that's dangerous. I mean, you can bend time literally. I mean, he can make all these things never exist in the first place.
Yeah, and my thing is I want them to do it in a way where he's dark and brooding.
Oh, it's coming.
Like Thanos.
Oh, it's
Thanos
coming.
was scary as shit because he really did wipe out half the universe. How do you top that? You know what I mean? So now I feel like either he really has to use this time travel to be evil fucking dude
Mhm.
where he wipes one of these people out at their existence as a child or something. How do you top it when you have 10 years of Thanos?
Well
Is
said.
my thing.
Yeah.
And before it was, the other thing was like, you had the Infinity Stones, so you could introduce a story where Guardians of the Galaxy, they're dealing with the Power Stone. Thor 2, we're dealing with the Reality Stone. You've got all these little things that have culminated over 10 years where
Ingredients.
each person has dealt with it, and then he
Yeah.
acquires it all, and now we've got the big battle. What do you do for 10 years with this? Or do you even do it for 10 years? Is this a 2-year story with King the Conqueror where we're going to have small things like that?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe they do Doom later? Because the first Fantastic Four movie, they're not going to defeat Doom.
But admit this, after the first time you saw Iron Man 2008, you had no fucking idea what was coming.
100%.
You had no idea how wide this was going to expand.
But as soon as Avengers came in year 5, when he turned his face and everybody saw Thanos, we went, holy shit, they're doing the Infinity story.
Yeah. That's
don't know.
the best post-credit scene, in my opinion.
I don't know if there's a Kang story that equals that. There are Doom stories that equal that.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing is like Doom has stuff in the comics where like he went to the edge of the universe and he took over the universe and like he did all these things. And I was like, dude, this is the fucking castle at the end of the universe. Like he's got all of this. Like I would have liked for them to introduce Doom, have him working in the background, just like they did to Kang, where he's been doing this stuff for forever. He's already a master of science. He's already a master of the mystical arts.
Genius, yeah.
And he is a top level threat immediately. And now we go into phase 4, whatever fucking phase we're on, with Doom as the next big baddie.
Yeah.
I wish they would have gone that route because I just don't think that you can pull off Kang being this super level threat. They probably will because most of the stuff they do is great, but I don't know.
Last question, then I'm going to go to Ryan. What do you rank the series of Loki as a whole, and where do you put it against WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I think as a story and what it does for the MCU, Loki is the best. I think as entertainment value and how they did it, I loved the production value and how they took the old school processes or whatever, for lack of a better word, of WandaVision, how they like authentically did a lot of their special effects instead of doing CGI and stuff for the 50s, 60s moving up, and how they did all the camera stuff. I liked WandaVision more for that fact, but I think Loki does more for the MCU. If I had to do it isolated in a vacuum, I still think I like WandaVision better.
Very good. Ryan, what did you think about Loki?
It was my favorite of the 3.
Okay.
I finally did come around to started Winter Soldier. I enjoy it. Did not give it enough attention or credit off the rip, so I went back. I think I'm on episode 4 now. I still haven't finished it, but
You got 2 more to go.
even only where I'm at in it, Loki by far is my favorite. I think it's my favorite character of them as well, which helps.
It's definitely my favorite character. Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. 6, like you guys have both said. I mean, it needed to be either a longer series so that they could hash out more of the story, or they needed to cut it off at a different point because they just tried to push too much into that one episode, and it was just rushed. Really well done. I really liked Owen Wilson. I mean, it was Owen Wilson, and he's one of those people. He's one of those.
Didn't say it once.
And now, which is shocking.
He did say how.
Yeah, they either had to edit a ton of them out, or they intentionally didn't want him to have that in the show.
Yeah.
Because he's one of those characters that is very hard to see outside of who he is.
Great point.
He's who he is in every movie.
Great point.
And it's what you see. Like, to me, it was just watching Owen Wilson in the Loki show, but I still really liked him. I was a little concerned about Loki and female Loki and their love thing they had going on there. I'm like, you're falling in love and making out with yourself.
It's just masturbation.
It's narcissistic. I mean, but it makes sense. He's falling in love with himself.
It just creeped me out, though. I felt incesty about it, and I'm glad that it got cut off. And that
it's not incest. It's masturbation.
Yeah,
you're fucking yourself.
It's just weird. Though.
Narcissism. It's narcissism.
I didn't love that, so
Yeah.
I'm really glad they cut that off. And they fought or whatever. But
They're going to fall in love later. Season 2, they're going to fall in love.
I just really hope they don't. I just don't love that. I don't want it to be him. I don't know if he falls in love with someone, fine, but I don't know. I really enjoyed it, though. I think that the dimensions it's creating is just like, there's so much going on there that we need to try and understand and unpack and like realize where they're going to take it. The chaos that Jesse mentioned, overall, I mean, it was great. I give it a 10.
10 out of 10. Nice. Very good.
I loved it. That WandaVision and then Winter Soldier.
So this is your favorite.
Yeah, I'd say 10, 9, and I'm probably about an 8 on Falcon.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
My real short, you guys said about 90% of what I wanted to say. To me, the weakest episode of this series was episode 4, actually. There's a lot of exposition in that one. It's the one where they're stuck at a bar.
Is that when they're trying to get to the spaceship, but it gets blown up?
Yes. So they're stuck at a bar for like probably 80% of this episode, and it's just them talking, and they're kind of drunk, and it's kind of throwaway lines anyway. There's not a lot you take from that episode that you bring with you to the other 2 episodes going into it. I think episode 6 is very problematic, but I actually didn't have a big problem with it. My concern moving forward is a lot like yours in terms of this could get very convoluted fast. Not so much for the entertainment factor, but for people's interpretive factors. You need the audience to be right there neck and neck with you throughout this whole thing. They need to understand what's going on. Their theories are what drives the MCU. Yep. So like a lot of their theories were wrong in WandaVision. Actually, a lot of their theories were right in Loki. A lot of the things I read online, were right in Loki. So you need that there right next to you. That's the thing that concerns me about this multiverse, because we ask questions in our group chat, and I don't think we could ever positively answer them, assertively anyway. Yeah. I love Jonathan Majors. I've loved him since The Last Black Man in San Francisco, my 3rd favorite film of 2018. I think he is a dynamite actor, and I feel like this is a nice tip of the iceberg to introduce what he can do, but it is not everything that he can do. Going forward, there's a promise, because some of the lines that he said when he talked about his past and who he is, and he's that guy, and there's many others like him, and you do not want to see the other ones too. Yeah. And I feel like that, in conjunction with the ending of the series, the very last frame where Loki turns around and he sees that huge statue of Jonathan Majors, Kang the Conqueror, and you just see him, and he's like bronzed up, and it's gigantic and huge. I'm like, that's the guy that we need to be aware of. Like that scene right there, and Natalie Ann Holt's gorgeous musical score, just to rhythmic levels to your ear, was amazing. The music to me doesn't get enough love in this series. I feel like there's kind of a techno consistency to the early episodes, and I love that, especially that intro, the introduction scene, and the outro credits. Gorgeously
the title sequences of it is great too. Like just that flashing of the letters and everything gives me a real like Unsolved Mysteries, Twilight, X-Files. Her
musical score, I feel like she's the unsaid MVP of this series.
I agree with that.
And I love the lighting. I feel like the style of it all, it kind of creates a style of its own, because Marvel has played with light a lot in Thor Ragnarok, in Guardians of the Galaxy, but I feel like this movie has its own style to it.
I agree.
Or the show rather. To me, so wrapping it up, to me, I gave the series as a whole a 9 out of 10. It's really solid to me, but I'm kind of with Jesse. It falls just shy with WandaVision. So I've got those 2 right here, but I've got Falcon and Winter Soldier like right here.
I do too.
I'm not saying I disliked Falcon and Winter Soldier, but it's a 6 out of 10 for me, as to where these ones are both 9s.
Yeah, I give it a 6 also.
Both 9s? So they're not one above the other.
I've got Loki at an 8, and I've got WandaVision.
You got to give Wanda a 10, Chris. But if you want it to be better than this, it's got to be a 10.
So I'll tell you why I love WandaVision's genius, because it is the most brilliant way of dealing with grief that I have ever seen in my life. Like the layers to this show is amazing, and every single frame, as to where you said Loki, there's wasted episodes here and there. Every single frame of WandaVision counts.
Yep.
Everything that you are being told in those early episodes where you go, what the fuck does this mean? It all means something.
Yep.
And I love that. It's a jigsaw piece puzzle that, they finally put together at episode 10. 10's the sloppiest episode again of that series too. But I think it's a better ending than this. But
series. They still put together the story enough. Like when she had to watch her children and Vision die again, I was literally sobbing.
Yeah.
And then you get to Loki, and the hypest moment that I had was a fake out that I thought would be Dr. Doom, and that wasn't. So it's just like it wasn't the same levels of emotion. Regardless of what the emotion was, WandaVision really made me feel something, and Loki was just the excitement of what could have been, and then it wasn't.
And moving forward, like the What If trailer has dropped, so that's going to be the next series. That's the one that I've been the most pumped for.
Fucking Spider-Man in the goddamn Strange cloak.
Yeah.
Holy shit. If he starts doing some fucking magic, I'm going to bust a nut.
And the voice work is great. It sounds just like the actors that played them. Like, I'm like, is that
Well,
Robert Downey Jr.?
T'Challa, he actually,
Chadwick Boseman?
yeah, Chadwick Boseman that was his final thing. He voiced that show,
Really?
is what I've been told.
Because there's some ones I'm like, dude, I kind of wonder, like, did they
Yeah.
get the cast back together for this? But that's there. They casted She-Hulk, so that's going forward finally.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously with Black Widow, we're starting to see more of Hawkeye.
Yeah.
That's another one I'm psyched for.
I love
personally.
Hawkeye, dude.
Yeah.
For
we
completely
know why
different
you
reasons.
look forward
But
to
Cliff
it.
Barton
But
is my favorite Avenger. He's
yeah.
my favorite Avenger.
Me
Sure
too.
he is.
Me too.
He's my favorite Avenger. I mean, Haley Steinfeld's hot too. But yeah,
Yeah. No, I like. He's my favorite too. I'm really looking forward to that one.
that's it for Hollywood.
That's it. I don't. Let's get social. We can do Let's Get Social real quick.
Let's.
It is July 20th, 1969.
And man has landed on the moon.
69.
Freedom itself was attacked this morning by
And
a
freedom
faceless
is
coward,
defended.
and freedom will be defended.
I did not have sexual relations
Yes,
with
you
that
did.
woman.
That's the way.
He didn't put it in. He
Yes.
just got a blowjob.
This is true. I mean, is that sexual?
Oh, boy.
That's sexual.
Sexual relations is a blowjob. Yeah.
I mean, that's still some sort of sexual relation. Hey, whatever. Didn't affect him as president. He was
Depends
great.
on if he came or not.
He was a great president. So she's a quitter, so I probably didn't.
Oh.
Miss Lewinsky.
Sure, not a blower.
Let's get social. There's really not much going on. I mean, there is and there isn't. COVID is on a spur up again, kind of. We got this new Delta variant. They're saying that that's going to get bad. It's going to be bad like it was the end of the year last year. If you've gotten the vaccine, you're still able to get the Delta variant because it's a change and whatever. So it seems
Let's
like
just execute some people and be done with it.
here's my
I'm tired of the
thing.
show always being about COVID. God damn it. We got away with it for 3 fucking months.
That's my whole thing is like I feel like it stopped being talked about. Everything kind of went away, and now they're spurring it up again, and it's going to be this. It's going to be another issue.
To be fair, so the headline today by the Our Beacon Journal says that cases have risen 47%. That's because cases were at less than 200 per day.
Yeah.
So like raising 47%, I'm like, well, yeah, it's up to about 400 a day now. I'm not saying don't be concerned, but like, come on now. That's a pretty loaded header for an article.
Right.
They did say that the Delta variant will most heavily hit unvaccinated, which obviously rocket science. If you're vaccinated, you have a less chance of getting it. Like it's scare tactic shit. Let's hope that it doesn't become anything crazy. Businesses are starting to get back to normal for the most part. People are trying to survive.
Ooh, I got a business plug.
Plug it in, plug it in.
My boys over at Louis Bar and Grill. It
Okay.
closed down after COVID.
Oh yeah.
Was a casualty of all of the bullshit that happened for over a year. Was recently purchased by a nice Nepali couple, and they kept on. I believe he's the stepson of the original Louis owner, so he's still cooking the burgers. I've gone there. The burgers are the exact same as they were before.
yeah.
Fantastic,
Very good.
delicious, but they're also offering some Nepali dishes like momo and chow mein, which are like dumplings, and obviously everybody knows what chow mein is. I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I will be doing that next time that I go. Their burgers are fantastic
I'm
still,
pumped.
though.
You gotta let me know if they're the same as when it was Louis, though.
Dude, they're
When
the
it was really Louis.
Bro, they are the exact same burgers.
You've been there?
I went for a
Oh,
burger.
okay.
I just haven't had any of the Nepali stuff yet.
Gotcha.
Vacation week, 4 weeks.
First day that I go, I'm not going to get the Nepali stuff. I'm
Well,
getting
I
a
wasn't
fucking
sure.
burger.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
But-
Louis is dope.
Yeah, I always get the ranchero burger with American cheese.
Yeah,
So good.
that is a good one.
Nice. Louis, check it out. Good burgers. North Hill.
North.
And then you can go down to Jesse's house and hang out in his backyard.
Hi guys, you can come hang out.
Speaking of COVID and businesses and people trying to survive and this, that, and the other thing, and everybody being short staffed, there's a business. I think it was in a touristy area on the coast, but they had a really bad day of just asshole customers and stuff. So they shut down for the day to give their staff a like treat us nice and kind of like a slap in the face to their clientele. Like if you're not going to treat us.
Was it Naomi Osaka's
appropriate-
company? Because that
appropriately.
sounds soft as fuck.
No, I think that's great. If you're not going to treat us appropriately, like we're not going to fucking serve you. So they did Cape Cod. The owners of Brewster's based APT Cape Cod decided to shut down for a day of kindness after a slew of customers apparently mistreated its staff, cursed, and demanded take orders. before the restaurant even opened for business. It must have been real bad that they were trying to set a point. People are jerks.
I bet there's no quotes in that because they refused to see the fucking news conference.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot to click the link to save the link to read more. But anyways,
I want an off day.
my thing is like how hard. Look, at this point in time, everywhere short staffed. Most likely the place you work is short staffed.
Yeah.
So
Putting it nicely.
I don't understand why you have to be such a dick. If you go out to eat, go out to shop. If you go out anywhere where you're required a service to have somebody provide a service to you, whether it's be your cashier or they need to bring you food or you're going through a drive-in restaurant, whatever it is, they're short-staffed.
Yeah.
It's not that hard just to be nice. I know if I go out to a fast food restaurant, I'm going to wait twice as long as I normally would because it's 2 people running it. They've only got 1 drive-through lane open because they're short-staffed. Just don't be a dick. It's just not that hard. It's really not that hard. I thought that was kind of interesting, though.
I read something else locally. Like there was a local business somewhere. I think it was a pizza joint somewhere in Akron where the guy, every profit that they took in that day, he gave back to their, I can't remember where that was though.
He gave all profits to his employees.
Yeah. For one day.
Yeah. I thought that is pretty cool. I don't remember the company either. We would shout them out, but
I'd be like, Mom, you better be ordering 15 pizzas.
Yeah, no shit. Right. But yeah, I just thought that was an interesting take because I mean, they're taking the hit on themselves. They're shutting down and they're not making any money to kind of set a precedent or set a point. So I just think good for them.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know, man. If I went to a business and I am never
the Jesse take.
I am never a dick to people.
We saw that tip at Red Lobster, didn't we?
Right.
I have never yelled.
He just won't tip you.
I tipped him. Why not? I didn't tip.
He busted our ass for tipping him good.
I'm never a dick to people. I don't yell at customer service people. I've been in that position. I know it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But if I went to a business and they were like, hey, yeah, we're closed down for today because we're doing positivity for our customers because they've had a rough time. Dude, you're soft as shit. Like, I would not be going back to that business. Like, that seems like super right-wing radical, like, you need to be earning your paycheck type of person. But like, goddamn, dude, like, you're going to shut down for that. Get the fuck out of here.
But here's my thing. It had to have been to an extreme. And look, in my previous role, my previous job, like, there were some days where I was just like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, like, you don't have the right. I mean, when you make a grown person cry, because you're a piece of 100%. Shit and you're like, I'm sorry, you don't. The whole like, yeah, it's your job and the customer's always right, or you have to take it because whatever you, that's bullshit.
And I just think that's where you go out with beers afterwards with like your people though. Like I have all 3 of us have been through shitty fucking people in our lines of work.
Yeah, still am.
And I've had people who have made my customers cry. I've never cried because I'll just kick you the fuck out when I was a manager at that point. But like, I guess I don't know.
My whole thing is in a support of your staff. Here's the thing. As an owner, this is obviously a smaller owned place, probably family owned. And they're just stating that, look, we appreciate our workers. We know it's hard to find people right now. It's hard to get people to come to work. And these people are showing up, even though they're going to have to go through this shit. And we're just going to say, you know what? This is not okay. You can't treat our employees that way. And we're willing to take a hit in the pocket to make that a point. And I don't think that makes them soft.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's a line. I mean, you're going to deal. I don't think that the second one customer like talks back at you or something that you need to shut down for the day. You're going to take some BS, but you can only take too much. And it had to have been bad to get to that point. And like, I think that we need to get to a point where we realize as the consumer that like, we're not always right. And that we aren't entitled. We don't deserve to just do whatever the fuck we want because we think that they need our money more than they need us, or vice versa, whatever. I don't know. I don't agree with that.
My theory on this, and maybe I'm wrong, but my theory is the manager did this as a way to get back at that public that is ungrateful to his employers.
Absolutely.
So,
that's exactly what it is.
So to me, like, granted, it might take away from his profits and all that, but as you said, if he's man enough to do that, then he doesn't care, and he'll go one step further and say, look, for one day, you can live without us then. See how it goes.
He's going to piss off the people that are already mad and they're not going to come back, which is probably what he wants. Yeah. And then he's going to have that group of people that really respect what he did. And he's going to gain business from it.
Yeah. Touche.
But either way, I just thought it was cool for them to take that. There's not a lot of businesses we talk about it. These big corporations and stuff, they're all about just the money in their pocket.
Yeah.
You know, to take a stand and to stand up for your staff. I think that was really cool.
Yeah.
Your boy Biden, who I think Jesse voted for.
Not my boy.
You voted for him.
I voted for him, but not because it's not my boy.
I think he's doing something very
Bernie's
similar.
my boy. Let's set that fucking clear.
I think he's doing something very similar that Trump got a lot of shit for, and that was censorship stuff. But Biden is Biden's staff or team or camp, as they call it, is in some heat right now because they apparently are approaching Zuckerberg about monitoring and censoring certain things that are being posted online.
They want it censored?
Yeah, that they're actually seeking to have things removed from being posted.
Well, that's un-American.
It is very un-American. What do you think about that?
I don't agree with that at
Every
all.
2 years, this gets brought up.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Leave it alone.
It's one thing if Zuckerberg and Facebook decides to censor something, but if the president and the government approaches him and says, hey, do you mind censoring these things?
Yep.
That's a fucking problem.
It says the Biden administration has been flagging content for Facebook to remove. So they're basically going through things and telling Facebook that they need to remove this or take this down off their site.
What are they flagging? Trumper? I know it doesn't matter, but what are they flagging? Trumpers? Like
problematic posts for Facebook that spread disinformation.
Yeah, so Trumpers. So basically,
we're working with doctors and medical experts who are popular with their audience with accurate information.
So anti-vaxxers and Trumpers.
We're helping get trusted content out there.
No, I have a huge problem with that because as much as the fucking Trumpers are fucking idiots and don't know shit about what they're talking about and they spread all this fake shit that's not real, you can't have the government stepping in and saying, hey, it'd be really cool, even though it's truthful information and we're trying to fix these things and we want to get the good information out. That leads to the rabbit hole that is the government is censoring free speech and they're only keeping this down because they want to push this. Like that makes the vaccine seem more fake than before you did all that shit.
To me, I was fine with the fact checking. Were you fine with the fact checking?
Right. Do the fact checking stuff. And if they decide not to do it, then let them die.
Because nothing looks more humiliating than having a post you put up and then it says, well, this isn't true.
Right.
Here's why it's not
Love
true.
it. And the best thing to do is to screenshot it.
Yeah.
And then comment it in their post because I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. It probably said this when you posted this, but you still posted it anyway.
Well, that's just Google being a Nazi.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. Like everything that's super popular on social media is always the thing. Like if you go on TikTok, people are always like, TikTok took this down at first, but let's see if we can get it out there. That shit wasn't taken down first. Shut the fuck up. You put that thing up right then and you said that and everybody blew it up because they thought it was a conspiracy.
Yep.
If Facebook's actually taking your shit down, then that proves the point that Facebook took down my pizza parlor thing. So obviously they're fucking kids in the pizza shop and it makes it seem like it's more legit.
More fuel for the fire. You're right. You're
100%.
absolutely right on that. Yeah. Yep.
Because why would they take it down unless they knew it was true and they're trying to hide a secret?
I don't support that. No.
Yeah. I think the fact checking thing is sufficient. I think you have to have the right to post within reason what you want. There are certain things that probably shouldn't be online. But post underneath, hey, this has been debunked, or here's a link for it, check it, whatever. And I think that is fine. I think anytime we get into removing what you're allowed to post, though, that kind of is, it's a fine line to cross.
Wouldn't it be great if they posted, you're an idiot?
You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Well, the thing is like Zuckerberg got caught with so much shit selling that information. I feel like he's probably getting blackballed right now to do this also.
Yeah.
Which I also don't agree with.
No.
So I don't know. I think that whole thing is bad all the way around if that's the case.
I hope that, I mean, there's no way this can pass, I would think.
On a more serious note, more serious than our stupid Facebook nonsense and first world problems that we have here, Cuba is in a bad disarray. So apparently they got hit real hard with COVID and the response from the Cuban government has not been ideal. And there is lots of shortages there, food, medicine, energy, things like that. And the Cuban people have started to stand out against it and stick up and say, hey, something needs to be done. As the government leadership, they need to figure out solutions for them or whatever. And they have basically retaliated and further cut off resources to the Cuban people. So they've turned off internet so they don't have access to post or seek help or look for help or get any extra information. They're just throwing people in jail if they're protesting against the government. The big thing going around online right now is there's a lot of people who have been able to get word out from Cuba seeking help, seeking for someone to step in and do something about it. Do you think that this is a place where we step in and aid them? Like, we have this conversation a lot where it's like, when do we allow countries to run themselves or be responsible for themselves? And we always seem to get involved in things outside the U.S. when we have our own to worry about. Do you think it's something where we, as the U.S., we have an obligation to step in and help them?
No.
I'm
tired of being police to the world.
Yeah.
I think it gets us into more shit than we need to. I'm glad that we're pulling all those people out of Afghanistan. People are like, well, look at what the Taliban, or look at what, the Taliban is doing. They're taking over the whole entire country already just because they know we're leaving. And it's like, we were there for so long and we've set an infrastructure. If they can't defend themselves, then you're just not meant to be. And I know that that's like the harshest take, but I don't think that just because we have the capability of helping all of these countries and putting military up in every fucking country in the world that we necessarily should.
Yeah.
I'm done trying to salve everybody else's shit. We took over and beat the biggest fucking army in the world to become a country. Why the fuck can't people do that themselves?
The libertarian in me agrees with Jesse. Because to me, I don't support anything like that that's going to bring war and bring bigger losses to begin with. And that's the thing we have to concern ourselves with. So if we drop our own troops, our own people into that country to fight back against that, whether it's martial law, whether it's whatever, we're going to sacrifice our own men, our own women, about this. And to me, I don't feel like anything that's on another soil, whether you feel it's harsh or not, I don't feel anything on another soil is worth the loss of one man, one woman at all.
Yeah.
It's not our concern because we're the United States of America. They're Cuba. If it was called the Cuba States of America, then we would have a different argument altogether. We are not on their soil. They are not on our soil. It is not our problem to worry about them. I'm sorry. That is exactly how I feel.
Yeah. That's fair. I struggle with it and
fight back against that system. Look, you outnumber them. You have the people. Fight back and fucking take them down.
They're not set up in a position where they have the ability. It's a very, it's been a dictatorship. They're not.
When you've lost everything, you have nothing more to lose.
Well, they are fighting back, but they're being overtaken. They're not standing a chance. That's where I wonder, where do we help? Because it's not like they're just sitting there crying and not doing anything. They are standing up. They just don't have a stand a chance against their government.
How though? You have look, I know they have the arsenal and all that. You have fucking numbers, dude. You could tear those walls down if you wanted to.
You can have 100 people unarmed against 4 people with guns and you're fucked. You pull a trigger on that gun, you shoot 100 bullets, you're done.
100 people run at them, man.
But anyways, I don't know. I struggle with that. I feel like,
what do you think?
When you're in a position to help, you should. And I'm not saying let's go to a war like with Afghanistan and Iraq and stuff like that. We're sending troops over there for 10 years to fight their war. This is more of a humanitarian thing where these people just want food. They want medicine. They want to be helped. And we have the ability to do it. So I struggle with the right and wrong because to both your guys' points, when do we stop focusing on everybody else and worry about ourselves?
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're not in a perfect situation here. If everything was peachy keen in the U.S. and we didn't have hungry people and we didn't have homeless people and our economy was in a great position and we're like, all right, you know what? We're good. And we've got all this excess. Let's go help others.
That's why I'm fine with the vaccine being shipped off. Cause I'm like, look, we've got a bunch of people who don't want it right now. Fine. Fuck them. Then we're going to give it to other countries.
Yeah.
I just struggle with I don't know. I just struggle with that. It's just like,
my thing is I feel like if we're going to go out into a country like that, I have to trust that we're going to do it for the right reasons. And history shows that we don't. So Afghanistan, that war lasted 20 years and we went over there on the promise that there were fucking weapons of mass destruction and shit. And they weren't there.
But that's where I don't, if this was like a war thing or something, no, because we know we went to those countries because we wanted something.
But the thing is you're not going to go there and free those people unless there's something to gain.
And Cuba's government is not going to take that without an act of, a slap in the face.
And they've got Russia on their side and all these other things. I'm not trying to fuck around with World War III over some people's freedom that they can get themselves.
What if we approach them and just said, would you guys be okay with this? We approach them. We whatever we did, contacted by phone. I don't know what the fuck they do that with world leaders.
Vladimir.
Right.
Hello?
But you know what they'd tell you? They'd tell you,
listen,
fuck no, let them starve.
You contact them and you say, hey, we're not sending people there. We're not sending troops there. We're not going to distribute this for you. We're willing to provide you with X, Y, and Z. We're going to send you this much food, this much medicine, these vaccines for your people. And they say, okay, you think we do it or you think no?
I just think you're going to send them shit for no reason and they're not going to change anything because at this point, we've already embargoed them. Yeah. They have no trade through us.
Yeah.
That's allowed at this point. So we fucked their economy for damn near 60 years now.
Yeah.
So we don't have really anything to offer them. Like with China and all that, if they start doing shit, we can be like, well, we're just going to embargo you and we're not going to give you any type of trade or anything. And then it really fucks them over. Cuba, we can't do that. We've never done that for 60 years. So at this point, you send them shit, they're going to be like, okay, cool. We're going to keep all this stuff for ourselves, or they're going to utilize it for the rich or whatever the fuck they do over there. I think that at this point,
do you think that we allow them to find safe passage here? Like that would happen with I don't remember what country it was a couple years ago where everyone was trying to flee to come here, Syria or something. And everyone was in uproar about no, close the borders. They shouldn't be able to come here because maybe they're terrorists too or something.
I mean,
I'm all for, if they do it right, I'm all for it. Like they do it the legal way and all that, then absolutely would let them in.
That's the thing. People can come here all the time. People make it seem like you can't. You can come here legally at any point in time. You're allowed to come here for safe passage already. That's like promised by our laws.
Yeah.
So should we go over there and help them get here? I don't know. I mean, we could do that for everybody. Did we go over and fucking stop apartheid? Did we go over there and stop the fucking there's so much shit that's going on in this world that we haven't stepped in to stop. So why the fuck would we focus on this?
You said what I was just about to hit on too. It's that, so when's the stopping point for this? So we start with Cuba. Do we go into, say, North Korea and help their people out too, despite the fact that they've got a fucking hateful dictator who kills them all at the drop of a hat? I mean, where do we stop with this? Eventually this shit's going to lead to war.
How do you find the out? Like if you're in a country like that, where the borders are probably protected via military, and you want to leave for your own free will and they won't let you, then what do you do? I guess we're very fortunate, as fucked up as our country is, as much greed and shit as we have, we can come and go at our own free will. And sure, we would allow them to come into this country if they could get here, but they're not in that position, so that's just where I struggle. It's like, they're trying to fend for themselves and it's never ending. It could Cuba one day, it'll be somewhere in the Middle East the next day. It's going to be Korea one day. We can fight this country or this world forever, and it's never going to end. So
you asked a predicament, though. You said, if they said yes, I don't think that's a likely scenario because, for one, they're the ones that are making all of this happen in the first place. Their own government, their own people in charge are the ones that's causing a lot of these shortages to begin with. So to me, let's just say they say no. Now I pose the question to you. If they say no, how much further do you take this?
I think my whole thing is, if we offer the help, we say our piece and they turn it down or they don't want to, then we walk away.
Okay.
But at least offer something. Like I said, I'm not saying let's go there and set up camp and have troops patrolling them and whatever, but hey, if what they're truly asking for, which is what it seems, is that they need food and they need medicine because that country has not been able to obtain it for itself. Cool. Let's airdrop them a care package, whatever it is, and let them distribute it.
I'm fine in the unlikely scenario that their government approves it, but I think it's a very unlikely scenario. Because
they're not going to work with us for the people,
and they won't want our shit anyway. The second they hear it's from America, it's bad. It's laced with poison. It's all this other stuff.
So in what scenario do you think it's proper for the U.S. to send aid somewhere?
Those kind of aid, like as far as, are we talking
in which
troops?
Situation does the U.S. get involved in another country's matters outside the U.S.? What situation do you think that we have an entitlement, or what, if not this, in what situations should we be involved with countries' matters outside of our own?
A proven missile crisis. Like I'm not just talking about Afghanistan. Like there has to be legitimate, like they're aiming it at us. They're days away from firing it at us. Get our men over there and fucking stop them now.
Yeah, I think it has to be, for me, it has to be something where the people truly cannot defend themselves in any way. You've lost complete control. Like the fact that Cubans are going out right now and parading in the streets asking for American aid and they're not being gunned down shows to me that it's like yeah, it's a shitty situation, but there's something that you can be done on your own private area. Now, if they had gone out there and the government showed up and fucking destroyed these people and killed them and black bagged them or did something like that, then maybe I have a different option or different perspective on it. But this isn't like, I don't think we should have gone to Afghanistan.
No, I don't,
because
either.
I don't think we went for the right reasons.
Yeah, I don't either.
World War II, we got into it because Japan attacked us. We didn't even go in, and I would have been okay with them going in because you're eradicating the Jewish people at the time and they couldn't defend themselves. And I would have been okay if they left for that reason. But even then, we didn't get into it until they really drug us into it.
They took it to our soil.
Right.
Yeah.
And if we'd have just sat back and nobody fucked with Pearl Harbor, we would have never got involved in World War II.
Yeah.
So
you're saying
I don't want to
if it's not a threat to the U.S., you don't care. And you're saying
not
Chris
necessarily.
Chris is saying if it's a threat to the U.S., we get involved.
Chris is saying if it's a threat to the U.S., get involved. Yeah. I'm saying if it's a threat to the U.S. or the people are drastically being, it would have to be a matter of literal life and death.
Tomorrow you saw a video of people, if those Cubans that are parading in the street getting gunned down,
I would say we get involved.
involved.
Yes. But right now, I think that at this point, yes, you're oppressed, but there's something that you can do about it because you are the people in the majority.
Yeah.
And you're not having the military completely used against you in the fact of life and death.
Genocide, get involved.
Yeah. Right.
Threat to the U.S., get involved. Outside of that.
Yeah. Nobody's getting involved in Rwanda. Why the fuck weren't we there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
They were killing people with machetes.
And while we're the wealthiest country, you could say we're the most
we're the superpower. I don't think we're the wealthiest anymore.
We're the most fortunate country, we'll say, in terms of our advantages.
United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, he's right. Abu Dhabi is like ridiculous. Yeah. As far as like we'll say we're the most blessed country, okay, as far as our freedoms and everything goes. But when somebody attacks us, we need to start asking the question, who's there to have our backs too at the same time? Who's sitting there going like, look, you fucked with America and now we're getting involved.
Supposedly
almost nobody.
Supposedly the United Nations, but here's the thing. No one's coming for us. No one that can compete with us. China's coming for us. They don't stand a chance yet. You know, like we don't, that's the thing. That's the problem is that we do hold the power and we are in the position to help everyone else out. There's not many people that are really in the position to help us.
I'm just of the position to where like, if we lose one soldier, we've lost too much already. Yeah. Like to me, and I know that's their job, that they get involved in that kind of stuff. That's the reason why they look for the ultimate sacrifice, and their bravery is untouched in that realm.
Yeah.
But to me, if we lose one, we've lost too many.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that too. If it's
I guess to that point, then why have a military? Well, if we're not going to utilize it to help, then why do we need it?
Well, it's our own.
But it has to be truly used for help though. Yeah. How many people have we had that died in Afghanistan for a fake ass fucking thing so that we could make oil money?
That I 100% agree. Afghanistan and Iraq was shady. That's for opioid and that's for
Vietnam
oil.
was fucking shady. Also, we didn't get involved. I mean, World War II, even that wasn't for a justified cause. We went and did that shit and fucked them up because they attacked us first. And even then, the war was over when we dropped that atomic bomb. And even then, like we weren't gaining a ton of shit, but we fucked them up because it was revenge. But there was not a lot of justified positive things that we've done.
Our military, the power that we've gained and withheld within our military is for our own greed. It's not to protect ourselves.
Cuba's fucked up because of what our government did. They send in fucking black agents to go in and fuck up their government.
That's how it always is, though. That's exactly we raised Bin Laden.
That's exactly my point. Our government isn't here to protect us. If we're saying the government, the only reason we want the government is to aid in ourselves, or the military, sorry, not the government. We don't need it. Our military was created to obtain. Yeah. We have the power and the amount of people we have, so we can utilize it to gain over other people, whether it's financials or if it's to gain oil. In what situation we really sent our military anywhere where it was not for our benefit?
Vietnam.
And there's no time we've sent our military anywhere that's been
there was no benefit for Vietnam, man.
Even that though, they thought there was they thought that they were going to be able to. I mean, it was stupid, and there wasn't a reason for us to be there, but the government did it for their own reasons, not for the Vietnamese people.
We are still feeling Vietnam to this day.
We are, but the point is that we didn't do it to help them. We did it it was for some reason of our own. We went to the Middle East for some reason of our own. We haven't sent our military anywhere solely just to help them with nothing in return that I can think of.
George Bush does not care about black people.
And Mike Myers, look, Yes, and you can call.
I mean, look, I've got family in the military and I support people that do it, but I just can't think of situations where we're actually using it for the reason that we really think that we're using it for.
I honestly think it's domestic security is really what it is, in my opinion. If they threaten us, hey, guess what? You're getting fucking taken down.
Right.
Like, we've got the greatest army in the world, and if you even touch our soil, we are going to blow you off the fucking map.
Yep.
It's wild. I think that's it. Cuba needs your help if you want to help them. Jesse and Chris don't. I'm on the fence. If you want to,
I actually
send some medicine and food, and I don't know how you help them. But
I
For
actually,
only $1 a day, you can feed this podcast,
this guy,
pizza,
Stop
and
shaking
hot
your
dogs.
leg, McGee.
before we
Can't help it.
Look like we're in a
at this
freaking
shaky-
earthquake.
Oh my god!
apparently
What's up? Before we go,
before we go, I'm changing the name of my website, by the way, to YouTubeSquirt.com.
Jesus. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. That is Made to Motivate Podcast. Make sure you tune into the show every week. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube so you know when the new videos launch. And check out our pages individually if you can. We appreciate the support. At Jesse Young SI on Twitter. Chris, the Film Freak Kessinger. Check out the Film Freak Review page on Facebook. And I am Ryan Weiss. You can check out rockeverywhereinc.etsy.com to follow my art and apparel page. We appreciate the support. And, of course, at Made to Motivate Podcast on all social media sites. Thanks again, and we'll check you next week.